from the government, and seeing construction costs moving higher once again is simply making profit margins for developers even smaller.
The federal government is investing $17 million in a national aerial firefighting fleet. It'll deal with a range of natural disasters, including cyclones and flash flooding. Minister for Emergency Management Jenny McAllister says challenging conditions are on the way.
The Bureau indicates to us that we can expect a bit of that in the season to come. The forecast is for warmer than average conditions, for wetter than average conditions, and for an active cyclone season.
At least 12 people have been killed and 33 others injured in a bus crash in northeast Egypt. The bus was carrying university students back to a dormitory when the crash occurred. The driver has been arrested. The date for the black by-election is set to be announced today. Mel Usher has the details.
David Speer's resignation will be formally announced to the House of Assembly today by Speaker Leon Bignell after his resignation letter was received yesterday. That clears the way for the date to be set for the by-election in his southern suburbs seat of Black. Both the Liberal and Labor parties have already announced their candidates. Teacher Alex Dighton is the ALP's pick. Amanda Wilson is the Lib's choice. Saturday, November 16 is the first possible date the by-election can be held. Mr Speers will front court on the 15th, charged with supplying a controlled substance. The 39-year-old former Liberal leader has vowed to clear his name of any allegations.
The consumer watchdog is being asked to investigate Qantas over flight fees and sustainability claims. Environmental advocacy group Climate Integrity is accusing the airline of misleading customers by charging extra for carbon-neutral flights, despite not having a clear plan for its goal of net zero emissions by 2050. It'll be a hive of activity at Westfield Marion this morning. Global makeup brand Sephora is opening its second Adelaide store. The first local outlet opened in the mall in 2019. Now turning to FIVEAA Sport.
The 2024 Mitsubishi Triton comes with 10 years warranty, plus 3 years free servicing, only at Agostino Mitsubishi.
And here's Tom Wren.
Thank you, Graham. Port Adelaide is denying reports its board stepped in before Dan Houston's trade to Collingwood was finalised. The three-club deal saw John Noble go to Gold Coast as the Power gained Joe Richards, Jack Lukosius and Rory Atkins. List manager Jason Cribbs telling Wide World of Sports the board wasn't involved.
That's categorically incorrect. We have a list management committee, which I'm sure all clubs do. We meet regularly throughout the season. As I said, we've been meeting over the last week. We've explored all opportunities, all deals.
Richmond's Daniel Rioli will be traded to Gold Coast for picks 6 and 23. Several trades are expected to go right down to the deadline. The final day of the trade period concludes tonight at 7 p.m. our time. Well, Tony Popovic has delivered a valuable point in World Cup qualifying in just his second game as Socceroos coach. They've drawn 1-1 with group leaders Japan in Saitama. There were few attacking highlights, with both teams scoring from own goals. To cricket, the West Indies have defeated England by 6 wickets to progress to the semi-finals of the Women's T20 World Cup. The loss knocks England out of the Group 2, with South Africa progressing instead. Australia will take on the Proteas in the first semi-final early on Friday morning our time. And in some horse racing to finish, I Wish I Win has retained favouritism after drawing Barrier 9 for this weekend's $20 million running of the Everest. And that's the FIVEAA Sport.
Thanks, Tom. Now the FIVEAA forecast.
See any issue firsthand with AutoCam. Real-time video, direct to you from your AutoMasters technician.
A possible shower and 30 today. Tomorrow also 30 with showers, possible storm. Friday showers 21. Saturday partly cloudy 21. Currently it's 21. More news as it happens on FIVEAA.
Over 50 and ready to dive into something amazing? This is for you. We're planning for your future with 2 new over 50s lifestyle resorts in Goola and Encounter Bay. With our vision for world-class facilities and endless activities, your next phase of life could deliver your best years yet, with pools, gymnasiums, bowling, greens and more. Visit our new display centre at 1 Banfield Road, Goolwa North, or check out lakesideresort.com.au or oceanviewresort.com.au.
We chose to use Paint Professionals because they were referred to us by a previous client who was very impressed with the work that they had done and recommended them highly to us.
Paint Professionals turned the job around so quickly, from the initial quotation straight through to completion.
Paint Professionals provided us with a very professional service. We're extremely happy with the outcome of it.
Painting an entire house or just a room? Make it a great experience with Paint Professionals. Visit paintprofessionals.com.au.
Attention South Australians, RAA Rewards is here. RAA members have long enjoyed a wide range of deals and discounts at different checkouts across South Australia.
That's right. Now there are even more ways to save with RAA Rewards, whether it's upsizing your daily coffee, saving on car gear, or getting discounts on zoo and movie tickets.
Members can also access a huge range of deals and upgrades at some of the best restaurants, wineries and pubs in SA when they book online. Just head to the RAA website or download the RAA app to find out all the ways you can save.
It's better to be a member with RAA Rewards. TCs and exclusions apply. See RAA website for details.
You can now see Top Gear Australia, 7:30 Thursday on Channel 10.
My car's on fire.
Bo Ryan, Jonathan LaPaglia and Blair Jocelyn are taking you for a wild ride. Top Gear Australia, followed by Gogglebox Thursday on 10.
If you're ready for the legendary Hilux, your journey starts at the brand new Jarvis Toyota.
Adelaide wakes up with FIVEAA, David Penberthy and Will Goodings, Tom Wren for sport, Jade Robran on the scene as it happens, Graham Goodings and Jess Adamson with the news that matters to Adelaide. Breakfast with David and Will, bringing together the names you trust with everything you need to know to start your day. Always live, always local and only on FIVEAA. Always Adelaide. This is FIVEAA, always Adelaide.
Head to your Hyundai dealer for run-out offers across MY24 range, petrol and diesel vehicles. T's and C's apply.
David Penberthy and Will Goodings, FIVEAA Breakfast.
8 after 6, good morning to you. Welcome to Wednesday on FIVEAA Breakfast, the 16th of October. Trust you made it through the warm night unscathed. I wonder what everyone's sort of sleep factor was overnight. 21.4 degrees was as cool as it got. 21.4 degrees yesterday. Hottest day in Adelaide since March. A bit of chat about the weather this morning, I suspect, when we check in with the Weather Bureau before 7 o'clock. We're also going to catch up with our old mate Vincent McAviney from the UK ahead of the King's visit and the deteriorating popularity of Sir Keir Starmer in the UK as well. And then after 7:30, Bruce Bilson, the Small Business Ombudsman, is going to join us to weigh in on this discussion about card surcharges that the federal government is committing to cracking down on. The big chat, I think, this morning, should I say, is going to be with the Police Commissioner, Grant Stevens, after 8:30 today. We'll talk to him about this tobacco war that's seemingly entirely out of control at the moment. Sam Daddo sent some pictures driving in this morning of yet another gift shop that appears to have been... I mean, we're starting to...
Gift shop.
We can start to arrest any suspicion, can't we? You know, we're getting... If you see one burnt out now, it's more likely than not the subject of an arson attack. David Penberthy, good morning to you.
Good morning, listeners. Good morning, Will. Yeah, gift shop is the funniest term in the world for these places.
There's on the live stream at the moment, for the Foodland Supermarkets Facebook YouTube live stream, we've got some of Sam's photography. I mean,
so it's up to like 15 attacks now, isn't it?
Yep.
In Adelaide.
We're getting to the point where once a week one of us drives past one on the way in.
Yeah, well, 50% of us have in the last 2 weeks. It's crazy. Like, Luce and I are the only ones who haven't. But you'd think proportionally, like how many of these stores are there? They've just sprung up like Topsy, haven't they? Just everywhere. So which suburb is this one in?
Cowandilla, this one's in.
Cowandilla?
On Sir Donald Bradman Drive.
Okay. I was driving down Old South Road yesterday. I missed, no, hang on, the day before. I missed the turn-off. I've been visiting a loved one at Flinders Medical Centre and I had to go back to Aldinga afterwards. I missed the turn-off and I was on Old South Road. I thought I'll just do it the old way, the old pre-Southern Expressway day. You've almost got that road to yourself these days.
Yeah.
Compared to what it used to be like. And if you can put up with all the traffic lights and the extra 10 minutes in the car, it's actually reasonably pleasant drive now. But I noticed 2 stores that just said, Southern Tobacco. Tobacconists came and went with the decline in smoking. There used to be that wonderful, wonderful tobacconist. You allowed to say that? It was called Tunney's, and it was on Grote Street. And you walked in there, you didn't even walk in. You walked past because their specialty was pipe tobacco.
Oh, really?
Oh, and it just had this beautiful, rich, sort of fortified wine, port sort of smell, like real peaty forest floor. Like, you're just there going, oh, how good does that smell? It's beautiful. They sold all these wonderful pipes and everything, like, you know, old-fashioned pipes for smoking like your great-grandfather did, like Popeye pipes. But all those tobacconists went. So for dozens of these stores to emerge overnight, like dead set, I reckon I definitely saw two, and because I haven't been on Old South Road for so long, they literally have popped up overnight. You know, shishas and bongs and everything else, and the old nudge, nudge, wink, wink. What have you got out the back, thanks? Because a lot of it's driven by vapes as well.
Yeah, the uptick in vaping. I think the interesting component of this is it doesn't seem all the scrutiny on it and the attention on it has deterred anyone who participates in the practice of what appears to be some sort of standover scheme. In fact, it's starting to feel like this is all part of the business model.
Yeah, totally.
You want it talked about.
Well,
you want it on the news.
When we had the senior officer from SOPOL on, his name eludes me, but he was terrific. He was really up front. He told us that the policing of the sale of tobacco is not actually the job of SOPOL. It only becomes an issue for SOPOL when it gets into extortion, vandalism, standover tactics, firebombings. But the actual sale of tobacco, and we'll check this with the Commissioner, but from memory, that's your recollection of that interview, isn't it? It was an SA Health?
That seemed to be what he was saying.
Well, is it licensing and...
Liquor licensing.
Liquor licensing. But anyway, it's not the cops. The actual policing of the sale of illegal tobacco does not fall within the jurisdiction of SOPOL, which means if you can put up with the odd firebombing, you're pretty confident that your core business is going to be all right.
We're going to talk about all these issues with the Police Commissioner after 8:30 today. And as always, if you'd like to have a question asked of the Police Commissioner, you can shoot it through to us on the Duttons text line, 044808 1395. Duttons car dealerships in the Adelaide Hills and Murray Bridge. Duttons, they are easy to do business with. We'll take a quick break. The other news headlines knocking around this morning are coming up next.
Mate, it was so easy. Drop the car into Automasters. Next thing, I get a video on my phone.
AutoCam. It's new from Automasters.
The service advisor is there live doing a real-time report on my car.
Real-time video sent direct to you from your Automasters technician.
He shows me the problem, makes a recommendation, and look, there's the quote.
So good. Totally transparent, instant SMS approval, and Automasters pay later options.
AutoCam. The future of vehicle servicing here now. Call 1300 Automasters.
Who can fix the shower?
Service today.
Who can fix the power?
Service today.
Yes, we can, is what we say. Service today.
Every time you see our bright yellow trucks in your area, we're helping out your neighbours. We can help you too. So for the best plumbing, electrical, heating and cooling work, call Service Today 24/7.
Can you fix the shower? Yes, we can. Can you fix the power? Yes, we can. Yes, we can, is what we say. Service today.
Call 1300 Service.
Hey, are the onions done?
Not long now.
For over 12,000 South Australians, the most important meal of the day is from Meals on Wheels.
How's the soup coming along?
Behind the meals and behind the wheels are our wonderful volunteers, like our cooks who make the delicious 3-course meals for our customers.
Linda, hello.
If you love cooking, we could do with you.
Smells delicious.
Become a volunteer today and help us keep the wheels turning.
See you tomorrow, Chris.
Visit mealsonwheelsa.org.au for details.
The Phil Hoffman Travel Expo is back this Sunday, October 20. It's the biggest and best travel event in Adelaide, hosted by Adelaide, with over 60 worldwide tour operators, cruise lines, airlines and travel experts. Experience the PHT difference with inspiring travel talks, early bird discounts, one-day only deals, booking bonuses including a glass of French champagne and incredible holiday prizes. The PHT Travel Expo this Sunday, Adelaide Convention Centre. Entry is free. Register at pht.com.au.
I'll have an Edwardstown Mazda with a lot, thanks.
Absolutely. Drive on through.
Buy any new Mazda from Edwardstown Mazda and they'll turn it into a Mazda with the lot. Get 2 years free servicing, $500 of free accessories, a $500 car care voucher and 5 years roadside assistance on top of already reduced drive-away prices. Get your Mazda with the lot only at Edwardstown Mazda, the #1 destination for Mazda in SA.
It's gotta be
T's and C's apply.
I booked the car into Automasters. Next thing, there's a video on my phone.
Shows me the problem, makes a recommendation, and look, there's the quote.
So good. Totally transparent, instant SMS approval, and Automasters pay later options.
AutoCam, new from Automasters.
5AA Breakfast is streaming live right now. To watch, simply head to 5AA on Facebook or YouTube. Head to your Hyundai dealer for run-out offers across MY24 range, petrol and diesel vehicles. T's and C's apply.
David Penberthy and Will Goodings, 5AA Breakfast.
17 minutes after 6, few Dutton's texts coming through. Chris says the sale of tobacco is policed by Consumer and Business Services.
That's right.
The criminal offences are policed by SAFEOL. Police commission on after 8:30. Yet another one of these stores appears this morning to have been attacked.
There's another text here from Rob that I couldn't agree with more. And don't worry, Rob, we're going to give this great man the send-off he deserves after 7 o'clock. Rob writes, Valet George Negus. Back in the day, George, Yana, Ian and Ray, that's Yana Vent, Ian Leslie and Ray Martin, were must-watch Sunday night viewing from Gorbachev to Gaddafi. It was real investigative reporting, not like today's 5-minute stories on the latest fad diet or the next Marvel movie. It's the end of an era. I couldn't agree with you more, Rob. 60 Minutes when it started, that show was, as a kid, I used to get so excited that it was coming on. In fact, I reckon it was one of the things that made me want to become a journo. Even though I didn't at the time. When I think back, the level of excitement I got from that program, he was a great interviewer, but we'll, as I said, after 7, we'll pay tribute to George Negus. And this is a really good text here from Penny, Will. Folks, I'm wondering if you share my view. This was thrown on my driveway yesterday. Why is this still printed and distributed now that we all use the internet? Surely those that need them can request one, but does everybody really need to be given it? And Penny is, of course, talking about the yellow pages. Well, what's left of the yellow pages is not the house brick.
White pages.
White pages. White pages. No, hang on. That's the yellow pages.
It says white pages on it.
Oh, hang on. It says both, actually. Oh, it's both combined into the one book.
Is that how they do it these days?
It's got white pages down.com.au, business and government down the bottom, and then commercial, yellowpages.com.au up the top. Anyway, whatever it is, it's a telephone book. And it's landed in Penny's driveway.
You're right, though. It looks like a pamphlet now.
They used to be huge.
Well, you had the A to K.
Yeah. But Penny says there's a lot of outdated businesses in there, not even up to date. Seems like a complete waste of money. And a complete waste of trees. Who else got a phone book?
I haven't received one in years. I don't know who gets them. I wonder why Penny got one. I wonder why anyone gets them. Lucy said she got one delivered to her place.
Who produces it?
Who uses it? And who throws it straight in the bin?
Because it used to be Telecom that made them.
Yeah. Let us know. 8223 or text us on the Dutton's text line 0480081395. It's a great text, Penny. Thank you.
I collected telephone books when I was a kid for about 6 months.
You collected them?
Yeah.
For what purpose?
As a collection. I liked getting old telephone books.
And what you compared the...
I had about 30.
Oh, PK Smithers has fallen off the perch.
I did it because I was a massive weirdo.
Oh, I didn't want to say it.
Then my father threw them all out. He said, don't be bloody stupid. Good advice, Dad.
All right, news headlines on this Wednesday morning. South Australian police are looking for clues about the disappearance of a 58-year-old female tourist near the West Australian border. Dante arrived in SA on September 24 and was last seen near the Nullarbor on September 29. Her rented green juicy camper with Queensland plates was found 12 k's from the head of Bight last Wednesday.
That's pretty ominous.
Yeah, it sounds particularly peculiar.
Sounds
Pretty
like
rugged country out there too.
Film.
Cleaning up the construction centre will be top of the agenda in a meeting between the federal government and CFMEU bosses. 40 new investigations have been launched into the behaviour of several officials. The Employment Minister wants to fix chronic labour shortages and improve efficiency to drive up housing supply across the country.
Well, the one person doesn't need to worry about that.
We'll be talking about that after 7. That broke late in our show yesterday.
Yeah.
We've got some audio from the Prime Minister that we'll talk about today.
It was literally about 10 to 9. We had an action-packed into the show yesterday. We had
all happened.
Albo
Tom
buying the house.
Coots'
Coots' office getting vandalised. But, you know, in short, there's probably never a good time as the Prime Minister to buy a $4.3 million absolute waterfront house in a place with a name like Copacabana. But there's also a really bad time to do it, and yesterday was one of those times.
Some Westpac and St George customers say they're still struggling to access online banking services, despite being told yesterday's outage has been resolved. It's the third day users have been faced with issues. Former UK Prime Minister Boris Johnson is coming to Australia in December to launch his new book. Unleashed will explore a range of themes, including his time while in power and his brush with death. The book is on sale at the end of this month. We should get him on.
Oh, how much fun would that be?
We need to get Boris Johnson on when he comes into the country.
I've stopped eating cheese.
This is an incredible story. A Russian man has survived 67 days adrift in East Asia's coldest sea in an inflatable boat.
You're kidding.
The 46-year-old was rescued by a fishing vessel. His brother and teenage nephew did not survive. The men set off in August to watch whales and their engine failed.
Oh, crikey. 67 days?
67 days.
Do we know exactly where?
Don't know exactly where.
Just the cold, the really cold bit.
Yeah, there's nowhere cold. Yeah, what a nightmare. This will be good. A new documentary exploring Beatlemania in America has been announced. Beatles 64, produced by Martin Scorsese, follows their first visit to the US. It will stream on Disney Plus from the 29th of November.
Scorsese's music docos are good, because he did Shine a Light, the Rolling Stones one, and he did No Direction Home as well, the Dylan one, which is excellent.
This is awful. At least 12 people have been killed, 33 others injured in a bus crash in northeast Egypt. The bus was carrying university students back to a dorm. When the crash occurred, the driver has been arrested.
Horrible.
Anne says, I'm at Lockley's. I got a Yellow Pages. It's now in the bin.
Well, that's where they go.
Yeah, who's printing these things that people don't want? Some people want them, which is fine, but we seem to be oversupplying them.
But in all seriousness, who uses one? No judgment here. If you do, good luck to you. But who goes, I need to get a cleaner to clean the house. I won't use my phone. I'll leave my phone there. I won't type cleaners.
Even though I'm going to need to use the phone to call them.
Adelaide into my phone. I'll go, okay, CCC, CL, here we go. Cleaners, commercial. No, cleaners, domestic. Cleaners, crime scenes. Which one do I need? Domestic. I'll take domestic.
Do crime scene cleaners advertise the Yellow Pages?
Probably.
I think they do.
I think they do.
And you get one of the great benefits. I mean, we don't need to talk about how well the internet's going, but you Google a business, you'll find out instantly not just the number, but is it open right now? So worth your time to call it. And there's probably a star rating of what people think of it.
Well, that's the other thing, yeah. Well, the service that actually provides that better than any app on your phone is the Maps facility. Because when you get Maps
is
you
great
get the
for
phone
opening
number,
times.
you get the opening hours, you get the Monday to Sunday opening hours. And it's always right.
I rely on that all the time.
Maps is the best app ever. It's so good.
19.8 degrees outside in the city right now, which means outside of Darwin, this is the warmest place in Australia this morning.
Balmy.
Top of 30 today. Yesterday was our warmest day since March. Got to 32. Possible shower today in 30, but only up to a mil of rain if we do get any. Chance again of a thunderstorm in the morning and early afternoon. Then tomorrow, again 30 is the forecast maximum, but 1 to 8 mils of rain. A change will come through, and that means Friday is much cooler. 21 the top on Friday. So Friday only get as warm as last night got cool. 1 to 6 mils of rain. Saturday, a top of just 21. 24 partly cloudy on Sunday, and then she's warm again. 30 on Monday, 29 on Tuesday. Both those days mostly sunny.
Sally has shed some light on the Yellow Pages / White Pages mystery. Charities, clubs, etc. can get paid 40 cents per book delivered. Quick money.
Who's paying them?
I don't know. Telecom? No, what's it called these days?
Telstra?
What's it called? It's like saying, I haven't got my bank card on me.
That can't be profitable to print that many books and pay people to distribute them.
It must cost a stack to print. Stuart says, I use my Yellow Pages every day to prop up my computer monitor.
There you go. Maybe that's the use these days. Doorstops and...
Wasn't that... I love that great copper slang. Give them a bit of the old A to K.
The A to K.
Getting confessions out of people. Yeah.
We won't ask the police commissioner.
No, we won't.
He might find that less funny.
Right.
Tom Wren's
it's frowned upon these days, that sort of thing.
Yes. Tom Wren's in the 5AA Breakfast Studio, thanks to Control Air, Australia's commercial refrigeration and air conditioning experts. Visit controlairaustralia.com.au. Morning to you, Rennie.
Morning, Will. Morning, David. We sort of forecast the Socceroos yesterday and said if they could get a point. That's what they did do. So I think mission accomplished in many ways. It wasn't a great game for those that could see it. There was some huge
Which is
issues.
nobody.
Well, the streaming was horrific. Buffering and...
The quality, I don't know.
It's a shambles.
Well, I got pointed out to me yesterday that for people that didn't have Foxtel, the Paramount arrangement's no different. So what's happened the last few years when Foxtel had the rights? All away games weren't on free-to-air. Away World Cup qualifiers used to just be on Foxtel. So it's the same situation for people who haven't had Foxtel. The Paramount component of this that's most infuriating is, as you say, Rennie, every 2 seconds it need to buff the stream.
Yeah.
Like, no streaming service on planet Earth has to do that. And if they did, no one would stream television.
It's horrific. It's a major concern, and the fact that we can't watch our, probably number one national sporting team.
Yeah, it's a disgrace.
On a men's perspective anyway.
Well, there's a great text I'm trying to find
It's
from
so bad.
Con, who's our resident soccer nut. Con said, from memory, I can't find it, but Con said he rang 7 different pubs in the eastern suburbs last night to see if they had it on. And none of them did.
None of them did. Yeah, it's frustrating.
Even the pubs can't do it.
Yeah. But look, in terms of the game itself...
Great result.
Great result. So the Socceroos didn't have a shot on target, but then this happened in the 56th minute, I think it was, in the second half.
Miller looking to curl in the cross. Oh, an own goal! Australia take the lead. They haven't had a single shot on target, but they've been given a massive helping hand. And that own goal gives Tony Popovic's team a priceless advantage with just over half an hour to go.
Now, unfortunately, that audio there, thanks to Paramount Plus, unfortunately, they did give up an own goal themselves some 20 minutes later. But in the end, they hold on for that 1-1 draw. Look, there's no doubt they were playing, I think, to try and just get the draw and, get on the counter. That's what they did. So, much better placed. Yeah, much better placed, though, than they were a week ago in this group.
Yeah, most definitely.
I stayed up and read the coverage of it in basically tweet form on the Tigers webpage, and it would refresh every 10 minutes. I was reading other stuff and then hitting refresh. Sounds like we defended well in the first half.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, they
Did you watch it?
Yeah, I watched it. Yeah, Japan didn't...
Did you subscribe?
Yeah, I've subscribed to Paramount Plus. Yep.
Yeah, right. For your buffering needs.
The Paramount people, for their part, say it's $70 worth. It costs $7 a month compared to Foxtel $70 a month. So their argument is it's actually cheaper than what it used to be to watch World Cup qualifiers. But you used to not be able to. You could watch them in actual, crystal clear HD once upon a time.
Yeah, but if you get get other stuff of it.
If you get Foxtel, you get about 100 channels.
That's right.
Yeah,
you do.
Exactly.
Tony Popovich sprung some surprises. Luke Bratton, the 34-year-old playing at MacArthur now, former Sydney FC stalwart, played his first ever game. And he doesn't muck around, Popovich. If you're not playing well, you come off at half-time. I actually really like it. He keeps them on their toes.
Yep.
Disciplinarian, and it was a classic sort of Popovich rearguard action, going to a hostile environment and somehow getting points out of it. I mean, that's what he does well. I'm not sure they're ever going to play champagne football, but getting him to go to a place like that and get a point against a side that hadn't conceded a goal, let alone lost it in 8 games.
13-0. That was on the table. Yeah. 13 goals for.
So there's still 5 points clear, but yeah, they're going to be hard to stop. They'll finish top of that group, Japan, no doubt. But it's a decent result. Next game next month. Joe Gauci obviously playing as well, which is great from an Adelaide perspective. But the Dan Houston deal, front page of the paper, it gets done. So trade period winds up today. They've got to make it shorter. It's too long. It happens every year that it winds up in the last 36 hours that stuff finally starts to happen.
Cure for insomnia.
It is a bit, isn't it? But they dominate the news cycle. They're smart, the AFL. They know what they're doing.
They kind of do. To the extent that stations like SEN have any listeners.
But we'll wait and see if there's much more today. But Houston is a pie, and Port fans generally very unhappy. I think.
They don't seem to be. It's going to be a big discussion on the sports show again tonight. Good on you, Rennie.
Beautiful. Thanks, boys.
This is 5AA News. Always Adelaide.
A possible shower and 30 today with the 6:30 news. I'm Graham Goodings.
Chipped windscreen? RAA approved repairer Complete Windscreens repairs it from just $99. Find the big red koala.
Some Westpac and St George customers say they're still being affected by an outage, unable to access online and mobile banking. The bank apologised to users after resolving the issue yesterday, but customers Michelle and Aaron say they're still having problems.
It's not working. You're just getting the service unavailable message. And I closed the app, restarted it, not working at all.
I've been trying to log on for the last 20 minutes to the Westpac app, and it just turns around in circles and circles and then basically times out.
Construction costs are predicted to continue rising, adding to an almost 30% increase recorded in the last year. CoreLogic data shows building costs make up the largest share of the Consumer Price Index's housing component. Research Director Tim Lawless says the biggest driver of higher construction costs is labour.
Builders are probably already feeling this on the front line, so I don't think this is going to be any surprise to builders. A big part of what's continuing to drive construction costs higher is the cost of labour, as well as already very high costs associated with input materials.
Businesses which rip off consumers may soon be subject to new laws to crack down on dodgy practices. Federal Politics Editor Michael Packey.
From booking a hotel room, buying concert tickets to gym memberships, some businesses use tactics that make it difficult to end a subscription or charge hidden fees. The federal government will today try and shift the political debate back onto cost of living issues, announcing a push to rein in dodgy business practices. Treasury has been asked to work on a plan to reform some consumer laws. Among the issues being considered is dynamic pricing, where the cost of a product changes during a transaction, and clamping down on operators who require a customer to provide unnecessary information to complete an online purchase.
The future of the seat of black should become clearer today. David Speer's resignation will be formally announced to the House of Assembly by Speaker Leon Bignell, which clears the way for a date to be set for the by-election. Saturday, November 16 is the first possible date it can be held. Both the Liberal and Labor parties have already announced their candidates. Teacher Alex Dighton is the ALP's pick. Amanda Wilson is the Lib's choice in what is expected to be a tight contest. An Australian discovery could revolutionise the treatment of fertility problems in women. Gabriel Hodson has more.
Researchers from the University of Melbourne and Royal Women's Hospital have discovered a potential major cause of infertility. High levels of a messenger molecule in the lining of the uterus could explain why otherwise healthy women struggle to get pregnant. As News Corp reports, all women have the molecule, but levels drop temporarily during a small window each month. The teams discovered that in some infertile women, those levels rise instead, which they believe prevents early-stage embryos from attaching to the uterus. They're now planning a larger study to screen women with the condition.
Former UK Prime Minister Boris Johnson is coming to Australia in December to launch his new book. Unleashed explores a range of themes, including his time while in power and his brush with death. Now turning to FIVEAA Sport.
The 2024 Mitsubishi Triton comes with 10 years warranty, plus 3 years free servicing, only at Agostino Mitsubishi.
And it's a very good morning, Tom Wren.
And to you as well, Graham. We're going to start with some football. Finally, some meaningful progress in the trade period, with Dan Houston making his way from Port Adelaide to Collingwood. The Power have given him up, as well as picks 39, 58 and next year's first rounder. That's in exchange for Jack Lukosius, Joe Richards, Rory Atkins, and then picks 13, 29, 36 and 50 in next month's upcoming draft. Meantime, Essendon great Matthew Lloyd is describing his former club as a frustration. It's deadline day for the trade period. Bombers forward Jake Stringer's move to the Giants, one of several deals still to be done. Lloyd telling a trade podcast the Bombers are in a constant state of it not being their time.
It's never ever seems to be their time. It's never now. It's never there. We should be top four. And then they're pretty much factoring, let's go to the draft.
Still on football, more than half a dozen Giants players could miss round one through suspension next year. They're being investigated by the league and GWS over inappropriate behaviour at a private event. Well, the Socceroos have managed to take a point off Asian powerhouse Japan in their World Cup qualifier in Saitama overnight, the match finishing at 1-1. To racing, the barrier draw for the Everest has been held at Royal Randwick ahead of Saturday's $20 million race. Bella Nipotina is the big drifter after drawing barrier 12. I Am Me will have the rails run from barrier 1. Racing New South Wales operating officer Graham Hinton has told Wide World of Sports he's having a seat with King Charles.
All we know is he's going to be in the country, he's free for the day, he's a fan of racing, and we wait to hear and hopefully get the phone call to say he'd like to come out. And let's just say we're ready, willing to roll the red carpet out.
Should be a big day of racing, Graham. That is the 5AA Sport.
Excellent. Thanks, Tom. Now the 5AA forecast.
See any issue firsthand with AutoCam. Real-time video, direct to you from your Automasters technician.
30 with a possible shower today. Tomorrow also 30 with showers and possible storm. Friday showers 21. Saturday partly cloudy 21. Currently in town it's 20. More news as it happens on 5AA.
Head to your Hyundai dealer for run-out offers across MY24 range. Petrol and diesel vehicles. T's and C's apply.
David Penberthy and Will Goodings, 5AA Breakfast.
23 to 7. This is exciting. Vincent McAviney, our UK correspondent, back on deck this morning. I haven't chatted to Vincent in a little while, and there's plenty going on. The King coming to Australia at the end of this week, of course, but in the UK too, the political picture has changed remarkably in a short period of time. Sir Keir Starmer swept to power. Devastating result for the Conservatives in the UK, and yet now it's Keir Starmer whose popularity has taken a significant tumble. We'll be chatting with Vincent about all that shortly. Glenn's called into the program on 82230000. Morning to you, Glenn.
Good morning, listeners. Good morning, mate. How are you?
Good, thank you, Glenn.
That's good. Firstly, can I please say thank you to all our frontline workers that have helped me so much over this past week.
Glenn, we might have to call you back, mate. It sounds like you're broadcasting to us from on board a submarine.
Or in a Milo can.
Yeah.
Sorry, Glenn.
Yeah, the
apologies, mate.
The quality of the old-fashioned phone lines let us down.
Clearly used the Paramount app to call in.
All right, Luke.
It's 1-0.
If you jump on the Food Lads Facebook and YouTube live stream, you'll see Lucy's in the studio because Wednesday mornings mean it's time for a touch of etiquette. Morning to you, Luce.
Good morning.
Can I just ask, are we doing the cheese quiz today, or have we canned that on account of lack of interest?
Oh, we'll do it.
Oh, that's good.
We will be playing What Cheese Am I?
Because I just noticed it's not even on the list.
I forgot to add it to the rundown.
Even the staff here have lost interest in my quiz. Not that I'm getting a complex or anything. Okay. I just had to get that off my chest.
So we are doing it.
I don't really know what to say to that. Yes, we will do it after 8 o'clock.
Excellent.
So if you want to win Cheese Fest tickets for this weekend, listen in after 8 o'clock.
All right, there you go. It has a pulse.
I sort of lost my legs there for a minute.
Sorry, Liz, I didn't mean to spring that
Touch
on you.
of etiquette, Liz.
Touch of etiquette, thank you. Yes, plain consideration.
Mm-hmm.
Brought to us by Sam over the weekend. Went up to Bathurst, flew to Canberra through various ways. He flew back as well. And his question was, do we still respect when we tilt our seats back?
Oh, yeah. I think they should be hard and fast. In fact, I think these should be enshrined in laws.
Correct.
I don't think you should... If you're on a domestic flight, there's no tilting.
Now, for Sam, who is
Totally
6'2", and for me, who's 5'2", for me, if someone tilts their chair back, it doesn't really impact my leg room. I'm sure if I tilt my chair back on someone who's 6'2", that's probably really irritating. I like to check behind me. The person who is there... If it's a kid who's flying behind me, I have no issues with putting my chair back. If it's someone of Sam's height or someone remotely taller than I am, I'll probably rethink about it.
You make a rapid height assessment, do you?
Yeah, because then also, if they're really tall...
Do you carry a tape measure?
I do.
What's the tipping point?
In my handbag with my phone and my wallet.
What if they're 5'11"?
The mark is, if I tilt it back, is their knee still going to be going into my lower back?
Okay.
That's what I base it on.
I cannot stand people when you get on the plane, the moment they say seatbelt signs are off, whatever, and they don't even do a furtive look over their shoulder to see who's there.
What is the common practice
when
these
you're
days?
eating,
What
there's
are
some
the rules?
people, you've got your tray down, and next thing you know, you've got your
You're wearing your apple juice?
coleslaw in the little foil pack that you can't open. Sort of rocketing towards your nether regions.
82230000. What's your rule of thumb, or what should be the law or the rule when it comes to reclining seats on flights? Let us know.
I'm with you, mate. I'm all for small government, except in this instance. It should actually be a one in all in policy that the airlines monitor, where they have a sign that says, "Look, it's going to be a long flight, so at this time, everyone
can do
everyone can
all
put their
seats
seats
will
back."
recline.
all seats will recline. Because if all seats recline, everyone's in the same boat.
Yes.
Because you just sort of...
What counts as
you're
a
on
long
an angle.
flight, right? Melbourne to Perth is 5 hours. Is that a long
Yeah,
flight?
I reckon
That
is.
counts. Yeah.
Anything
That's
above...
basically international.
Anything above 2.5 hours, 3 hours, maybe.
Yeah. Yep.
So I reckon Adelaide Cairns you don't need a recline.
Adelaide Darwin's 3.5.
Ah.
Well, you may need a recline and relax because you're going to Darwin.
Part of the
But-
problem is like the Darwin flights. Some of them are really weird hours, like midnight and stuff like
All
that,
right,
because
well,
there's no curfew
now
in
we're
Darwin.
now we're getting real technical. But when do we put the seat back? Do you
8223.
even do it? Do you not do it? Do you check behind you, or you just don't care? You think that's your right to put your chair back because you can. What do you do?
Dan in Woodcroft says, as someone who's over 6 feet, it's infuriating when the person in front of me puts their seat back and smashes my kneecaps. Last time I went to Melbourne, someone put their seat back and had a nap. It was infuriating.
Yeah, see, Melbourne's a 50-minute flight. You don't have
Yeah.
to do it for Melbourne.
No tilting your seat back for domestic flights, says Dan. Thank you for that, Dan. Let's go to Lights View. Steve, good morning. What's your rule, Steve?
Oh, mate, if I could, I'd take a welder on board and weld them all up. Shouldn't be allowed.
Weld all the
good
seats.
idea.
So no reclining whatsoever, Steve.
None.
Steve,
No,
what,
there's no reason. No reason.
what about, Steve, you're flying to Singapore and that's 8 hours. Would you do it then?
No, just sit up. You can't sleep on a plane anyway. Unless
Straight
you're
back.
small and
Well, don't
curl
you?
up.
Well, exactly, Steve. What you just said. You can't sleep anyway. So what difference does it make? Like it's
Oh.
not like you go, okay, here I am like a sardine in economy, and then I go, I'm back 10 degrees. Oh, that's good.
Do you know what I think
Now
it
I'm
is?
going to sleep like a baby.
It's entirely psychological. It's the illusion of control and giving yourself more space. So dear, I'm so uncomfortable, but don't worry, I'll be able to recline in a moment. The seatbelt sight's about to go off, and now I'll be right as rain for the rest of the trip. 0-4808-1395, Dutton's text line. Is anyone going to defend the recline?
Yeah, who likes it? See, the people who do it don't even like it. I think that it's like when you buy a 3-piece feed at KFC and then days later you think, why did I do that? What have I become?
Days later, like an hour later.
I had one last week. Oh, I had that first bit of chicken. I was like, oh, yeah, this is good. And then after I finished it, I went,
That was not good.
you're a disgrace to yourself and your family. Why'd you eat that?
I think if you can recline and fall asleep on a plane, it's totally individual. I have no issues falling asleep on planes.
Seriously? I
Sitting
can't.
bolt
no
upright,
way.
recline slightly, easily.
Jay on the Dutton's text line says the flight's over an hour. The seat back is okay after food service. So that's Jay's rule. Matt, I'm going to have to try and tidy this up. Matt says when you get charged $700 to fly one way to Melbourne from Adelaide, they're lucky I don't relieve myself on the seat as well.
Remember, Gerard Depardieu got done for doing that on a plane once.
He's been done for a lot of things.
For urinating on a plane.
Debbie-
I remember there was a great headline said, sorry, I was just having a wee, spelled O-U-I.
Debbie in Semaphore, good morning.
Hey, good morning, guys. Good morning, Lucy. I'm going to defend the recline. I'm only like 5'1", maybe a little bit chubby, but not chubby that I overflow on the seat. But sometimes, sometimes I feel I just need that little bit of recline because that upright maybe just makes me feel a bit dizzy. But what about, let's all band together to the airlines to make the seats a little bit wider.
That'd be good.
Yeah, they're not going to do that, though, Debbie. They're such tight-fisted sods.
That is true. That is true.
The moment there's a concert or a sporting event, they double the ticket prices.
I like Debbie's sentiment, though.
In an ideal world, it's good to be an idealist, Debbie.
Let's give Debbie and Steve some tickets to Chihuly at the Botanic Gardens.
Oh, lovely idea. There you go, Debbie and Steve. A lot of good texts coming through as well.
Back in the golden era of newspapers, whenever we had international conferences, which was like 3 times, I think, I went overseas, you got to go business class.
Well, there's a few people saying that.
And
Max
then-
in Beaumont says it's not an issue on international flights when you're sitting up the front. And how about this for a subtle, but I think they call it the humble brag. Rod says, doesn't worry me flying business to Dallas today. Humble brag. Thank you, Rod.
The worst thing. Didn't Seinfeld make a joke about it? It was after that golden era where, thanks to the largesse of the Murdoch family, up the pointy end, and it's unbelievable. The first time I did not want to go to sleep. I was so excited by the food, the wine. This hostie came over and she's like, oh, where are you off to? So I'll go to San Francisco for week-long conference. And where are you from? I'm from Adelaide originally. She said, "Oh, we've got some really good South Australian wine on this flight." I'm like, "Oh, really? Oh." They had a Henschke, was it Kyneton Estate? It was a terrific wine. And all these smoked salmon blinnies and going, "Oh, bring it on next time," because clearly it's unaffordable. Like, you need to be rolling in cash.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
To afford business class. Getting on a long-haul flight economy after you've done business, you just think, why did I ever accept business? I should have just said to work, "Nah, I'm flying economy."
Hard to go back. Kieran says, "Boys, I flew from Belgium to Italy earlier this year on a Brussels airline. Seats do not recline." So there you go. There's one airline that's already done it. Rick says a couple of swift knees in the back normally does the trick.
Yeah, good tactic.
Who's this one? Doesn't have a name. Morning, guys. Putting your seat back is pointless. People think about the greater good. It's all like putting your shopping trolley back. No one forces you to do it, but it's for the betterment of all. Exactly right.
Yeah, correct. We're living in a society, people.
That was a really controversial online psychological debate that happened a couple of years back about the trolley test. Is a population, does it require governance or not? How many people? Because there's no more selfless act or there's no reward or penalty for putting your trolley back or not putting your trolley back. It is entirely up to you, the individual, and it's a good test of a community and a society.
Yeah.
As to, do you need government or not? Are you the kind of person that takes your trolley back or not? Because you gain nothing personally from it, but you lose nothing if you don't do it as well. It's an interesting psychological observation.
Does affluence play a role as well?
Do you think?
I reckon it would. Because if you live in a suburb where things aren't maintained and the verges aren't mowed by the council and there's broken windows and so forth, a trolley on a footpath is not really worsening what is already an aesthetically unpleasant place.
I see.
I think that's part of it.
All right, let's check traffic. Police and weather coming up in just a moment. That was good. Thanks for all your
Great work, Luce.
entries on the Dutton's text line. Louva House, the leaders in transforming your outdoor space into a great entertainment area with an opening and closing roof.
Morning, Will. No major issues at the moment, although in Hilton the road plates have come off. That's on South Road at Sir Donald Bradman Drive, affecting city-bound traffic. Watch out for ongoing works today. Flinders Drive near the Southern Expressway, Bedford Park, and Grand Junction Road near Dunstan Road in Wingfield. Check your speeds, Burbridge Road, West Beach, Glenburn Road, Fell, and McGill Road in McGill. Harris Scarf's greatest brand sale is on now. Save 50% off full-price cookware by Rayco and Swiss Diamond. Exclusions apply. Harris Scarf, great brands, great prices. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
Some things need an emergency department, but if you're umming and ahhing on what to do, it might be more of an emergency. If you're unwell and unsure what to do, call Health Direct on 1800 022 222 and a registered nurse will help you find the best care for you. A message from the Government of South Australia.
Visit Jarvis Toyota's brand new undercover home in Brighton Road, Somerton Park and take advantage of savings across the Toyota certified pre-owned range. Enjoy the same feeling you get with a new Toyota at Jarvis with all certified pre-owned vehicles tested and backed by Toyota, including a full service history and 90-point safety check. Toyota certified pre-owned in a class of its own. Your Toyota journey starts at the new Jarvis Toyota, Brighton Road, Somerton Park, proudly celebrating 23 years of great deals.
Hi, I'm Lynn Andrews. For over 50 years we, the Lynn Andrews team, have specialised in commercial and residential property management. But above all, we specialise in people, helping to make life easier for investors and tenants. Everyone is treated with empathy and respect. It's the way we do business. It's the Lynn Andrews way. For residential and commercial property management, we're here to help you. Visit lynnandrews.com.au.
Give your mouth a little harmony with Henry Bloom's Probiotic Mouthwash. Formulated with Dental-Lac, a probiotic strain that harmonises the delicate pH of your mouth and promotes beneficial bacteria. Available at all major pharmacies.
Always read the label and follow directions for use.
You can now see Top Gear Australia, 7:30 Thursday on Channel 10.
My car's on fire.
Bo Ryan, Jonathan LaPaglia and Blair Jocelyn are taking you for a wild ride. Top Gear Australia, followed by Gogglebox Thursday on 10.
Head to your Hyundai dealer for run-out offers across MY24 range. Petrol and diesel vehicles. T's and C's apply.
David Penberthy and Will Goodings, 5AA Breakfast.
10 minutes to 7. Hot one yesterday. Hottest day since March. What does today look like? Simon Timpey at the Weather Bureau has the details. Simon, good morning to you.
Morning, Will. Morning, David.
Will it be as hot today as it was yesterday?
Look, I think it'll go pretty close, yeah. We've got another pretty warm day on the way, following a pretty hot night too. Had a minimum temperature at about 6, 19.5 degrees. So that's our warmest night since March as well. Temperature slowly starting to rise now, 20.3 degrees in the city at the moment, and expecting a maximum of 30 degrees for the city today. Around the suburbs, 30 degrees as well for Noarlunga, 31 for Elizabeth, 29 for Glenelg, 28 for Mount Barker. So a pretty warm day. Looking at the radar at the moment, we've had a fairly active band of showers and thunderstorms move across just to the north, moved across Eastern Eyre Peninsula, Northern York Peninsula overnight, just moving across the mid-north now. So not quite making it as far south as the Adelaide area. But I think we are at the risk of seeing one or two showers around during the day, possibly a thunderstorm as well. But late afternoon and evening, I think that risk decreases and should clear away. But certainly plenty of long, dry spells as well through the day. The winds generally northeast to northwesterly in direction today, and not too strong. Likely to see a little bit of sea breeze during the afternoon, tending around southeasterly again late afternoon. Another warm day on the way tomorrow, 30 degrees, possibly even a touch higher than that in some spots, I think, for Thursday. Bit of cloud around and likely to see showers developing. I think from late morning onwards on Thursday, the showers becoming fairly likely and the chance of a thunderstorm or two around the place as well. The winds northeast to southeasterly and they'll turn around southwesterly for Friday once that change moves across. So we will see a cooler change move across on Friday. So after a few warm days, 21 degrees the maximum for Friday with southwesterly winds, a bit fresh and gusty at times. And still some showers about the place for Friday too. But over the weekend, I think the showers will have all cleared away. So a couple of dry days on the way for the weekend and getting a little bit warmer too. 21 for Saturday, then 24 degrees for Sunday, guys.
Good stuff, Simon. Thank you. Let's head to SAPOL. Senior Constable Rebecca Stokes is on the line. Rebecca, shop fire at Cowandilla overnight. Was this a gift shop?
Yes, we'll be investigating whether there's any links to our Operation Eclipse in relation to this fire last night. Happened about 11 p.m. MFS and police were called to Sir Donald Bradman Drive at Cowandilla after reports of a fire at a business premises, and MFS extinguished the blaze, and luckily the premises was unoccupied at the time, but residents of a nearby unit were evacuated for safety. Our crime scene investigators attended the scene and police believe the fire is deliberately lit. As I said, we're investigating whether there's any links to our Operation Eclipse. So far there's been 15 fires that have been linked to the illicit tobacco trade in South Australia since July. And so we're keen to speak with anyone with information. They're asked to contact Crime Stoppers on 1800 333 000.
Also, Rebecca, a stolen car was dumped near Yatalunga near One Tree Hill.
Yes, police were called to Riggs Road at Yatalunga last night about 2:15am by reports of a crash. But when we arrived, we discovered that an abandoned stolen car had been pushed 200 metres down an embankment into a creek. And there was no one with the vehicle when police arrived. However, witnesses had heard 2 or 3 voices before the loud bang and another vehicle leaving the scene. That Toyota Camry had been stolen from a rideshare driver by 2 teenagers in Salisbury on Monday afternoon. Our crime scene investigators will attend the scene this morning to examine the wrecked car, and they'll be assessing during daylight hours if it's even possible to tow it up out of that gully. We're keen to speak with anyone who was driving in the area last night. Perhaps their dash cam footage captured any of these vehicles leaving the scene, probably a carload of teenagers. About 2:15 this morning. So anyone driving in the area, if you can check your dash cam and give Crime Stoppers a call on 1800 333 000, that would be really helpful.
Yeah, hopefully you can get some more information on both those stories. Thank you, Rebecca. Senior Constable Rebecca Stokes from SAPOL. The Police Commissioner will be joining us on the program after 8:30 today. Well, the King is visiting Australia a little bit later this week. A lot of speculation about is he going to the races, what's on the agenda. The speculation of the 5AA breakfast team was, will Vincent McAviney be coming with him? Of course, our long-time UK correspondent. It's been a little time between drinks, but it's good to chat with him now ahead of the King's visit. Vincent, good morning to you.
Good morning.
Great to be chatting again, Vincent, after a while. Hope you've been well. Hey, this is good news about King Charles because, obviously with his cancer battle underway, the fact that he's, getting on a plane, long-haul flight and a pretty packed dance card when he's here in Australia is a positive sign.
Yeah, about as far as he could be going on a trip, really, visiting you guys in Sydney and Canberra and then going to Samoa as well. We understand, and they are quite tight-lipped. So they don't want to give a running commentary on the health affairs of both himself and we've seen the Princess of Wales, Kate Middleton, this year. But we understand that this undisclosed form of cancer, which he was diagnosed with in February, he's been having treatment. He will pause his chemotherapy during the length of his trip. But he is taking the sort of standard procedure which the Queen used to take, which is he'll be with 2 doctors throughout the trip. He has also taken a supply of his own blood in case transfusion is needed. And we understand that the schedule has been changed, so there are rest days and there are no evening engagements. So it will be a lighter schedule, the lighter schedule that he has been having here since the summer, since he sort of resumed his duties. So that, we think, is the latest on his health at the moment.
Mm. Vincent, for an Australian audience, what's the shorthand version of what's happened to Sir Keir Starmer's popularity since he swept to power at the election that doesn't feel all that long ago?
Yeah, I mean, there is an argument or a train of thought that, it's not oppositions that win elections, it's governments that lose them. And after 14 years, the Conservative government, having burnt through several prime ministers and it was engulfed in scandal after scandal, was just deeply unpopular and that they were always going to lose. And the polling had Labour looking pretty popular during the election, but Sir Keir Starmer's own ratings himself were never kind of at the levels of like a Tony Blair, say, in the 1990s. But what's happened since is we've just got to the 100-day mark of this new Labour government. And there's been a bit of criticism, I think, more really about the back office. They've not been handling it right. They were a very slick operation in the campaign and in opposition. But since then, there's been a couple of gaffes which have kind of shown maybe that they didn't quite grasp how hard it is to be a government in modern times. They hadn't been the government in the sort of full 24-hour news pelt of social media. And so what we've seen is them being slightly slow. So we're still waiting for them to deliver their first budget on the 30th of October, and that's meant a lot of guessing for months about what it is they will be doing. That's left a bit of a vacuum. They've also taken away a heating allowance from some pensioners as well. That's been heavily criticised. And they've put out a few other announcements, but they haven't really done the sort of big stuff that people were expecting them to do that might have won them a kind of continuing popularity. And there's also been this issue about them taking donations for clothing and for tickets to events like Taylor Swift's concert, which hasn't really chimed that well with the public. So he's definitely still polling higher than his Conservative predecessor, Rishi Sunak. But that's not really saying much. And part of it as well has been the framing that the Labour Party have tried to put in place. They're trying to sort of do what the Conservatives did in 2010 when they came in after the financial crash. And they're trying to build a narrative for this whole 5-year term that they've come into a disastrous situation. They've repeatedly said that the finances are much worse than the government had revealed and that they've got to make some hard choices. And they're trying to give themselves some room to make those difficult choices in the hope that come sort of 5 years' time when the next election is on, that they can have, in the second half of this term, have spent a bit more money, have turned things around, there'll be more growth, and they can sort of paint this portrait of the 5-year term as being something from, real dark times to sunny uplands. But that still means that you've got to sort of manage public expectations through these sort of darker periods of the term.
It's a great assessment, Vincent. And just finally, before we let you go, you haven't got a Guernsey for the trip down here?
I'm not, I'm afraid. I'm going off to the election at the end of the month, so I'll be out in the States following Kamala Harris around. So that's the next trip for me.
Oh, we might have to speak to you when you're over there, Vincent. You can be our US correspondent as well.
Sure.
Good on you, Vincent. Great to chat. Vincent Vacovitti, our UK correspondent, does such a wonderful job. The
Our
King
NATO
coming.
guy.
He's exactly right. He's our Northern Hemisphere correspondent now. All right, 5AA News is coming up.
Covered. On you, Vincent.
Our wrap of the morning stories in Adelaide and Australia coming up next.
up-to-the-minute news for South Australia. This is 5AA News, always Adelaide.
A possible shower in 30 today with the 7 o'clock news. Good morning, I'm Graham Goodings.
Make RAA-approved windscreen repairer, Complete Windscreens, your insurer repairer of choice. Visit completewindscreens.com.au.
More than 50 Palestinians have been killed in Gaza in the latest wave of Israeli attacks. The White House has written to Israel, threatening to cut some military support if it doesn't improve aid access to northern Gaza. The Albanese government is considering a range of options to stop consumers being ripped off through tricky marketing tactics. Federal Politics editor Michael Packey.
Labor is trying to shift the conversation back to cost of living measures as the government is again distracted by other issues. This time, the Prime Minister's decision to purchase a $4 million home while many are struggling to get into the property market. Today, Anthony Albanese will announce a plan to rein in unfair trading practices to protect consumers when buying things like concert tickets, booking a hotel room or taking out a gym membership. There's growing concern some businesses are using tactics which skirt current laws. The government is seeking advice on how to tighten regulations to help people avoid subscription traps and hidden fees.
Meantime, the Prime Minister is defending his decision to purchase a luxury mansion on the Central Coast. Anthony Albanese has spent $4.3 million on the cliffside home amid the nation's cost of living and housing crisis. Senior Government Minister Amanda Rishworth has told Today it's a matter for the PM and his fiancée.
He wouldn't be the first politician or indeed person in Australia to buy and sell property. But, you know, when we look at the concern around getting access to housing, it is a big issue. And that's why our government has made a real focus on it. That's why we have legislation in the Senate at the moment.
The date for the Black by-election is set to be announced today. Mel Usher has the details.
David Speer's resignation will be formally announced to the House of Assembly today by Speaker Leon Bignell after his resignation letter was received yesterday. That clears the way for the date to be set for the by-election in his southern suburbs seat of Black. Both the Liberal and Labor parties have already announced their candidates. Teacher Alex Dighton is the ALP's pick. Amanda Wilson is the Lib's choice. Saturday, November 16 is the first possible date the by-election can be held. Mr Speers will front court on the 15th, charged with supplying a controlled substance. The 39-year-old former Liberal leader has vowed to clear his name of any allegations.
The federal government is investing $17 million in a national aerial firefighting fleet. It'll deal with a range of natural disasters, including cyclones and flash flooding. Minister for Emergency Management Jenny McAllister says challenging conditions are on the way.
The Bureau indicates to us that we can expect a bit of that in the season to come. The forecast is for warmer than average conditions, for wetter than average conditions, and for an active cyclone season.
It's National Ride to Work Day. Bike lanes and paths are set to be busier during today's morning and afternoon peak periods, prompting a reminder for drivers to take extra care and look out for cyclists, especially where bikes and cars interact on the road. Coinciding with Ride to Work Day, RAA has renewed its call for a $10 million state bicycle fund to build more cycling infrastructure, reduce traffic congestion and improve safety. Now turning to 5AA Sport.
The 2024 Mitsubishi Triton comes with 10 years warranty, plus 3 years free servicing, only at Agostino Mitsubishi.
And good morning once again, Tom Wren.
And to you as well, Graham. We'll start with football. Port Adelaide has relented on a deal with Collingwood and Gold Coast, meaning Dan Houston will play at the Pies next season. The Power will get Jack Lukosius, Joe Richards and Rory Atkins in return, plus a swag of picks in this year's draft. But they do also give up next year's first-round selection. Well, the Socceroos are still sitting in second spot in Group C in their World Cup qualifying group. That's after a hard-fought 1-1 draw against Japan overnight. The Aussies scored in the 58th minute courtesy of an own goal, but the home side responded after the Aussies also gave up an own goal in the 76th minute. It was a less than ideal build-up for the Aussies. Skipper Jackson Irvine has told Paramount Plus the team was caught up in a 2-hour traffic jam which delayed the start of the match.
When circumstances are out of your control, then it makes it simple. You've just got to go and do it. Boys rolled the sleeves up. Of course, it wasn't an easy situation, but we deal with it.
Yeah, they did well. In other matches in their group, China upset Indonesia 2-1, while Saudi Arabia and Bahrain have just played out a 0-0 draw. To cricket, the DRS will be available in 77% of women's Big Bash games, up from 41% last season. Meantime, at the T20 World Cup overnight, England has been knocked out of the tournament after going down by 6 wickets against the West Indies. The semi-finals are now set, with Australia to take on South Africa early Friday morning our time, while New Zealand will come up against the West Indies in the other semi on Saturday morning. And in some racing to finish, the Chris Waller-trained Buckaroo remains favourite for Saturday's $5 million Caulfield Cup after drawing barrier 8. And that's the 5AA Sport.
Good on you, Tom. Now checking 5AA traffic.
Lynn Andrews Real Estate, experts in commercial and residential property management. lynnandrews.com.au.
Hey, good morning. We're accident and breakdown free at the moment to start your Wednesday, although in Hilton, the road plates have come off. That's on South Road at Sir Donald Bradman Drive and affecting city-bound traffic. Look out for cameras today at Adelphi Terrace in Glenelg North, Hargrave Street in Birkenhead, and the Port River Expressway in Gilman. New Shark Tank is coming to 10 and 10 Play, where simple ideas can make billions, trillions, even gazillions. It starts 8:40 tonight on 10 and 10 Play. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
Now the 5AA weather.
See any issue firsthand with AutoCam. Real-time video, direct to you from your Automaster's technician.
A possible shower and 30 today, also 30 tomorrow, with showers, possible storm. Friday, showers 21. Saturday, partly cloudy and 21. Currently, it's 20. More news as it happens on 5AA.
If you're packing up your family to travel across the land will treat you different in a Dave Benson caravan.
Summer is on the way, and at DBC we're bringing the heat with genuine discounts. No Black Friday, no Cyber Monday, not even a free set of steak knives. Just a straight up $500,000 in discounts on Australia's largest range of new and used caravans under one roof. Prices reduced on over 100 vans, in stock, ready to rock. On now until the end of November, only at Dave Benson Caravans.
I'm the edge of the city without going in. I'm meeting with friends for a sneaky gin. I'm the home of croissants and a sweet treat. I'm a bit of shopping for men to look neat. I'm the doctors, dentists, the community library. I'm a slow breakfast with all my mates. I'm dinner with tapas and shared plates. I'm your errands list ticked off with a smile. I'm a leisurely stroll down a wide leafy street. I'm your corner of the city. I am Hutt Street.
This'll have you singing in the shower. EcoVantage can help you install an energy-efficient heat pump for all your hot water and save you thousands. EcoVantage should be your first call for government incentives. They can tell you what you're entitled to and how much you can expect to save on an energy-efficient heat pump. Pump your power bills down with EcoVantage. Head to ecovantage.com.au to find out how you could take advantage of government incentives today.
We are Enable Fitness Centre, home to the biggest and best equipped disability exclusive gyms in South Australia. We are your local award-winning registered NDIS provider. We are custom built, accessible to wheelchairs and ambulant clients with disabilities. In addition to providing exercise, physiotherapy and dietetics, we are proud to house SA's only underwater treadmill hydrotherapy tank. Join our community at Holden Hill, Marston and Elizabeth. Visit enablefitnesscentre.com.au for more information.
If you've seen Aldi's low prices, you may have thought they're having a sale, but they're not. And here's how you can tell. If there was a sale, there'd be a horn going, wee, 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 and I'd be shouting, it's a celebration, as starbursts flash and confetti explodes. But there's no sale. Just low prices every day at Aldi on everything from fancy stuff like Lacura neck firming cream to bread, milk and ankle grinders. Aldi. Good different.
The news and issues that matter to South Australia. Always Adelaide. This is 5AA.
Head to your Hyundai dealer for run-out offers across MY24 range. Petrol and diesel vehicles. T's and C's apply.
David Penberthy and Will Goodings. 5AA Breakfast.
10 to 7. Now, Jade Robin's been at this shop at Cowandilla that appears to have been the victim of an arson attack. We haven't yet got that confirmed. Police are investigating whether it is related to the now 15 arson attacks on tobacconists around town.
Don't want to sound like I'm assuming, but I reckon you can put your house on it. being an arson attack.
Let's just say...
Are these stores spontaneously combusting all of a sudden?
We'll put up on the Foodland Supermarkets on Facebook and YouTube live stream some of the vision. You can decide for yourself. I mean, it sells tobacco and it looks like someone's thrown something through the front window in the middle of the shop's burnt out. Like, you know, sometimes if it looks like and quacks like a duck, it's a duck.
The pattern has begun to emerge.
Jade Robran is at the location this morning reporting. Jade, what's your assessment and the assessment of people that are rolling into work this morning nearby?
It's a duck. It certainly is. It's, if you jump onto the live stream, you certainly see the front window here has just been absolutely smashed in. With what? Don't know yet, because you can't see whether it was a brick, whether it was a chair, whether it was, a fist. Not sure, but there is one hell of a hole at the front. And it looks like if you just pan up and have a look at the top window, there is it looks like plastic has just started to melt as well. So whether that window up there has just exploded from heat, but certainly the main window has just, looks like it's just been utterly kicked in. The front door is also open. Now, if I stick my head in, of course, it's all been cordoned off with police rope as well, but certainly looking inside, there is vapes, there is tobacco, there is smoking apparatus in here as well. Quite a lot of it has just been cleaned out. Unless they had a stock take sale beforehand, the shelves are pretty bare in here. But as you guys mentioned, it is the 16th attack on stores in the area. First one was back in July 19 in Glenelg, then August 30, September 7, 9, 11, 14. In October, we've seen the 4th, 11th, 13th, 14th and 15th hit. Wow. So investigators have got an operation open called Operation Eclipse. So crime scene investigators, they were on the scene straight away. This occurred about 11 p.m. last night. MFS, they extinguished the blaze pretty quickly. Thankfully, it didn't spread to neighbouring properties. Upstairs there's a row of units as well, so neighbours are just starting to wake up now. But I had a quick chat with an owner of a cafe just across the road who is close friends with the owners of the stores. This is what he had to say. I'm here with Russian, who owns Half Cup Cafe and Workshop. It's just across the road. You know the owners, really good people. Would this be coming as quite a shock to them?
It will be very shock to them, because the landlord name is Nick. He's a very, very nice gentleman. And the boys who just recently opened, maybe on 3 months now, they're really helpful to the community. So I'm quite shocked to see it happen.
Are you scared as a business owner seeing this spate of crime? I mean, I know you're not tobacco and vapes, and it seems like those particular stores are being extremely targeted, but nonetheless, does it feel uneasy?
When you see your neighbors get burned, it feels uneasy to anybody anywhere in the world. So yes, it is a problem. It is a major problem, but we're not sure what happened with the tobacco and the burning down, so we can't really say anything about it. But it's sad to see it's happened.
Do you want to see an increased police presence around the area, or is it normally pretty good?
It's normally really good, and it's they did it at 11 o'clock at night last night. So it's the pizza shop just closed at 10:30, which is next door to them. So we're all quite shocked who did it and how it's happened.
Jade Robran there at the scene. So the 16th of these style attacks, if it is ultimately proven to be that, and that's precisely what it looks like.
Just to Jade's point, though, where she commented about how there's hardly anything on the shelves, there's a reason there's hardly anything on the shelves in these stores, because they've got no interest in selling whatever items they have on the shelves. All the good stuff's out the back. It's a nudge, nudge, wink, wink business model. Like, they set up with a little forecourt area, and they put up, bongs and shishas and snacks and a few drinks and so on. But it's like a movie set. They're all flimsy, and then there's a huge back area.
So do you think every single one of the businesses targeted is involved in the illegal trade?
Yes, I do.
Okay. Because we don't 100% know that.
But it looks like they are at the moment.
Mm.
I mean, this store might be the one that breaks the mould.
Because I'm just trying to work out what the business model of the standover is. Is it, like, if you're a perfectly reputable and legal tobacconist, are you safe? Or is it everyone in that realm?
But that's the point. There aren't any of them anymore. There's no normal old-style tobacconists, because the tobacconists now are service stations and supermarkets.
Mm.
So there's no...
Well, but vape stores.
Yeah, I suppose... No, there's like... What's that? Is it called Your Choice or something? There's a small chain of them. There used to be a tobacconist in the... There's sort of men's giftware stores where you can buy, carton of Long Beaches and, a yard glass for your son's 21st, those sort of silly gifts for men. Crow's branded Monopoly games and sexy fluffy handcuffs and stupid stuff like that also sell smokes. But overwhelmingly, these new stores are all in the business of selling illegal tobacco and vapes.
It makes perfect sense, because if you're in the business of trying to extort or stand over people, you can't just roll into every hairdresser in town and say, if you don't pay me $5,000, here's my details, I'm going to burn your store down. Because if you're in a totally reputable trade, you go straight to the police, don't you? So the business model only works if the people don't want to report you, because it might expose what they're doing, I imagine. These are questions we'll put to the police commissioner after 8:30 today.
It's really interesting.
Yeah, I'm just trying to piece together in my head why it's happened here and to these stores, and where we haven't really seen. I can't think in recent memory. I mean, 16 attacks.
That's amazing.
It's staggering what's going on out there at the moment.
One here on the Dutton's text line saying the honest shops are getting bombed because they won't sell the gangsters illegal crap, so it's in retaliation that they get bombed.
I'm not sure. That I know the insight we got from the Victorian experience was it was essentially you get messaged and someone says you need to pay us this money, we'll make sure nothing bad happens to you.
Yeah.
And the funny thing happens, something bad tends to happen to you if you don't pay the money.
Well, that was the warning a month ago.
That's right.
That it was going to spill over the border, and it looks like the warning's come true.
Lucy's just wandered into the studio. Morning, Luce.
Good morning. Just had 2 calls for those in the Victor Harbour region. On the Adelaide to Victor Harbour Road, just about 6 k's before you get to Victor, so when you're nearly there, there's a nasty car accident. An engine has become dislodged from the car that has either, I'm unclear, it's either hit an embankment or it's hit some railing, but it's only just happened. So if you're down in the Victor Harbour area and you're coming just down over the hill, please be wary because an engine has come out of a car and it's only just happened.
Yeah. That's good information, Luce. If anyone's there and can let us know more information, we would appreciate it. Give us a call directly on 8223 0000. It was a sad day yesterday. The passing of one of the legends of Australian television, George Negus, at the age of 82. He'd had a long battle with Alzheimer's. There was a recent update that was really sad that he didn't speak anymore. His family, though, released a statement saying he passed away peacefully and surrounded by loved ones. Born in 1942, his TV debut was on the ABC's This Day Tonight. In 1979, he became part of the inaugural lineup of 60 Minutes at Channel 9. He received a Member of the Order of Australia in 2015 and was responsible for so many iconic Australian TV moments, like his sit-down chat with Margaret Thatcher.
Why do people stop us in the street almost and tell us that Margaret Thatcher isn't just inflexible, she's not just single-minded, on occasion she's plain pig-headed and won't be told by anyone.
Would you tell me who has stopped you in the street and said that?
Ordinary Britons.
Where?
In conversation.
But I thought
in
you've
pubs.
just come from Belize.
Oh, this is not the first time we've been here.
Will you tell me who and where and when?
Ordinary Britons in restaurants,
How
in
many?
cabs.
How many?
I would say at least 1 in 2.
I'm sorry, it's an expression I've never heard. Tell me who has said it to you, when,
These
and
are
where.
people that we meet in passing.
But
and we
of course you
obviously
cannot
raise
say
the
who
question
or
of the state of their country with them. And they tell us, yes, we have a tough Prime Minister, but she's a little bit pig-headed. She won't be told by anybody.
Isn't this interesting? Even the tone of voice you're using is changing from what you used earlier.
He was actually, it's a great moment. He was actually asked about this on 3AW about a decade ago. Have a listen.
Who were they? The people that you spoke to?
Exactly what I said. Cabbies, people in pubs, people in hotel foyers. And I said, which I think is probably the most significant thing, with a lot of phrases in that interview get plucked out of context. I said, probably at least 1 in 2, which means she had divided the country. It was as simple as that. And she still divides everybody's opinion about her and the way she went about things.
It was a nice tribute paid by Ray Martin last night on 9 News as well.
He was more than a colleague, he was a mate, a very good mate. I think that Logie created television for George Negus. I mean, he was probably the strongest TV character I can remember on Australian television, certainly. He was outrageous, he was charismatic, he was loud, he was heavily opinionated, he was funny, but he was just a great bloke and what you saw. Television is very honest, far more than radio, I think, or newspapers. What you see is what you get on television, and that was Negus. What you saw on 60 Minutes, another program that he was star of, that was George. He was a powerful figure. I think the early days of 60 Minutes, we probably wouldn't have been. I think it became one of the top 3 programs that we've ever seen on Australian television, and it wouldn't have been there without Negus. Negus was such a strong character with his moustache and the jacket over his shoulder as he was reporting some war zone or getting stuck into Maggie Thatcher. He was such a larger-than-life character, almost a caricature of himself. I mean, that's why Paul Hogan was able to caricature George so easily. George was, as I say, he was created for television.
Some of our 5AA listeners might recall, and this feels like it was only yesterday, and it's such a sad insight into the nature of Alzheimer's, but I reckon it was only 5 years ago, maybe 6, maybe 7, I'm not sure. But we had an event with the Council on the Ageing, COTA, at the little theatre in Angus Street, near the police HQ, where we interviewed George Negus, had him in conversation on stage, talking about older people and their depiction in the media and the patronising sort of put down stereotypes that they have to endure. And he was as quick as whip smart, totally on top of everything. And we ended up having dinner that night at a Malfi. And it was just an absolute pleasure sitting there with this bloke who is, I reckon, one of the absolute greats of Australian journalism. And he was so erudite and funny and, loved his Italian wines because he spent a lot of time living in Italy. He's a big soccer guy as well. He's on the board
Australia
of the FIVEAA.
board member.
Yeah, that's right. But a great life, and so sad that the cruelest thing, a guy who made his career talking to people and listening to people, as the one quality robbed of him by Alzheimer's at the end.
Scott from Mount Compass has called in with some more information about this crash Lucy just alerted us to, where it appears the car's engines become dislodged from the chassis. Scott, good morning to you.
How you going, guys? How are you?
Yeah, good, thanks, Scott.
I'd just avoid the area. They'll shut the road down, I think, because the car's actually gone over the embankment, over the guardrail, and the engine's right in the middle of the road. So, and there's multiple cars, so I'd just completely avoid the area.
Oh, wow.
You got a sense of what's happened, Scott? In terms of what caused the accident?
One car's gone over the embankment and has gone down the hill, and one car is off the road completely except its engine, which is on the road, and that's up against an embankment as well. But you can't tell the cars are a mess.
And just describe that stretch of road as you're seeing it now, Scott. Just generally.
It's coming downhill. It's coming down Cut Hill, which is down the windy part just as you enter into Victor Harbour. So, you can turn off to go down Mosquito Hill Road or somewhere like that, but Cut Hill will be completely blocked off, I think, very shortly.
Scott, it's great information, mate. We really appreciate you taking the time to call us and fill us in on what sounds like a really awful situation there. Scott in Mount Compass with that update on a crash that is going to, in his words in view, close that road. We're going to take a quick break. We'll talk sport in a moment. Then after 7:30, the credit card surcharge issue. We started speaking about it yesterday. The federal government saying they're going to get rid of these things. We're going to chat with the Small Business Commissioner because Bruce Bilson is great to talk to. He had some thoughts on this last time we was on the program. He was in town. So we're just going to get a sense from him about what does small business make of the federal government's promise. That's ahead. Traffic now, though. Thanks to Louver House, the leaders in transforming your outdoor space into a great entertainment area with an opening and closing roof.
Yeah, we've got a crash to watch out for this morning in Para Hills West. That's on McIntyre Road near Bridge Road. And in Hilton, the road plates have come off. That's on South Road at Sir Donald Bradman Drive, affecting city-bound. Cameras today, Coonga Avenue in Ross Trevor, Wakefield Road in the Parklands, and Woolner Road in Semaphore. Are your tyres electric? Hankook Iron, designed especially for electric cars and SUVs. You could say it's an evolution. Hankook Iron, the official partner of Formula E. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
5AA Mornings with Matthew Pantelis.
Fatalities on our roads. All of a sudden, we've had this spike in fatalities. 5 or so in the course of a week, and just absolute tragedies, every single one of them. Just terrible. That all of a sudden we've, taken our without, and pun intended here, taken our eyes off the road.
Matthew Pantelis.
This year started off much better and lower.
Weekday mornings from 9 on 5AA. Always Adelaide.
It's a frightening thought, but what if you lost the capacity to manage your financial affairs? If you're not at the helm, who makes medical or health decisions? Who controls the family trust? From the simplest to the most complex wills and estate plans, Donlan Lawyers will answer your questions and help carry out your wishes. For wills and estate planning, visit donlanlawyers.com. That's donlanlawyers.com. Hindmarsh Square, Adelaide, and Ocean Street, Victor Harbour.
Over 60,000 Adelaide homes have said yes to saving money on their energy bills with Yes, your energy saving solutions. What's keeping you? Did you know that you might be eligible for a rebate on a new appliance like a dryer or fridge? You might even qualify for a purchase you've already made. Just visit the Yes website for a list of appliances and the size of the cashback available. For T's and C's on this unbeatable offer from your energy saving solutions, go to yes.net.au. That's yes.net.au.
Have you heard about the sunrise swing banana or the morning stroll banana? The kicking goals banana, the rowing banana, the mowing banana, the frisbee throwing banana? Well, now you have. You see, whatever you think, there's a banana to make your body sing.
Happy 70th birthday, Volkswagen. Mawson Lakes Volkswagen invites you to get in on the celebrations with a huge birthday sale on new and demo Volkswagens. School birthday savings right across the range. Timing is easy with immediate delivery and easy finance options. And it's easy to keep your Volkswagen running like a dream with convenient next-day servicing. Join the VW Club and test drive today. Happy 70th Volkswagen from Mawson Lakes Volkswagen, just a short drive from the city.
When you choose Keaton, you can retire with confidence your way. Whether you're after more space or less, a change of scenery, or a new home nearby. Our retirement communities throughout SA offer many ways to enjoy your exciting next chapter. Choosing Keaton means choosing well-being in every way. It's choosing genuine connection and enjoying the confidence that comes with true quality, freedom and service. Explore our 4 South Australian retirement communities at keaton.com.au today.
Summer's on the way. Beat the rush and organise your Walco pool blanket now. Keep your pool clean, warm and reduce evaporation. Uncover the savings with a Walco pool blanket. Visit walco.com.au.
Rosanna Mangiarelli here from 7 News. Join me and Will Goodings for Adelaide's leading news hour, 7 News, tonight at 6 o'clock.
Head to your Hyundai dealer for run-out offers across MY24 range, petrol and diesel vehicles. T's and C's apply.
David Penberthy and Will Goodings, 5AA Breakfast.
28 minutes after 7, 5AA News, not too far away. The Small Business Ombudsman, Bruce Bilson, coming up very shortly. Then after 8 o'clock today, Police Commissioner Grant Stevens will be talking to him, I suspect, in depth about Operation Eclipse. Let's talk sport before we get to the break, though. Campo was on last night with Rowie and Timmy G, talking about the Dan Houston trade that all came together yesterday.
Well, they had picks 39 and 58 in a talented draft. So they get 3 players in, and now they get an opportunity in the first and second round to have a crack at it. So you're sitting there going, yeah, I understand, the vocabulary around Dan Houston and what he is, and yeah, unbelievable player for the last couple of years. But ultimately, you there go, and we always judge these things in time, which is at the end of the day. Do you really force the issue with Dan, and he gets frustrated and doesn't want to be there, and then he has a poor year, and that whatever might drag the team down, or he's not engaged, or you just don't know what the influence is on that? Or do you try and maximise the return on investment of what you've been able to do with Dan?
And they've done that.
And I think that's what they've done. So ultimately, do they want to lose him? No. But at the end of the day, you've still got to, sit there and go, well, what can we do to maximise losing him? And I think they've done a pretty good job.
It's great. It's a great piece of analysis from Campo, and he's right. Yes, they had the whip hand and they could keep him, but ultimately, if he plays poorly or gets injured, his trade value isn't going to be higher than it is now, coming off a second straight all Australian year. And even if you're selling at 75 cents on the dollar, it is in a draft that's actually considered by all the draft nicks to be exceptionally good. So the value of the first round of this year might actually be equivalent to more than that in future years. So players hold the players ultimately are in the key position. If they start saying they don't want to be there, it's really tough to successfully keep people around.
Well, whatever the case, we wish him well because he's a really nice bloke, Dan Houston.
He is.
Excellent guy, and we enjoyed our association with him, so I feel bad even saying that. Who's our victim next year, Will?
We'll find out. We might take some
suggestions. Have we got Zach Butter's number? I just heard it.
What you thinking?
I just heard an explosion. I think it was Dave from Alberton's head.
We'll take suggestions from listeners. Maybe about each other's teams. That could be good.
Yeah, exactly.
That'll get some honesty. 5AA News.
This is 5AA News. Always Adelaide.
A possible shower in 30 today with the 7:30 news. I'm Graham Woodings.
Chipped windscreen? RAA approved repairer Complete Windscreens repairs it from just $99. Find the big red koala.
Police are investigating another shop fire overnight, this time at Cowandilla. Senior Constable Rebecca Stokes says it broke out on Sir Donald Bradman Drive around 11 p.m.
Residents of a nearby unit were evacuated for safety. Our crime scene investigators attended the scene and police believe the fire is deliberately lit. We're investigating whether there's any links to our Operation Eclipse. So far there's been 15 fires that have been linked to the illicit tobacco trade in South Australia since July.
Construction costs are predicted to continue rising, adding to an almost 30% increase recorded in the last year. CoreLogic data shows building costs make up the largest share of the Consumer Price Index housing component. Research Director Tim Lawless says the biggest driver of higher construction costs is labour.
Builders are probably already feeling this on the front line, so I don't think this is going to be any surprise to builders. A big part of what's continuing to drive construction costs higher is the cost of labour, as well as already very high costs associated with input materials.
Some Westpac and St George customers say they're still struggling to access online banking services, despite being told yesterday's outage had been resolved. It's the third day users have been faced with issues. Businesses which rip off consumers may soon be subject to new laws to crack down on dodgy practices. Federal Politics Editor Michael Packey.
From booking a hotel room, buying concert tickets to gym memberships, some businesses use tactics that make it difficult to end a subscription or charge hidden fees. The federal government will today try and shift the political debate back onto cost of living issues, announcing a push to rein in dodgy business practices. Treasury has been asked to work on a plan to reform some consumer laws. Among the issues being considered is dynamic pricing, where the cost of a product changes during a transaction, and clamping down on operators who require a customer to provide unnecessary information to complete an online purchase.
The future of the seat of Black should become clearer today. David Spear's resignation will be formally announced to the House of Assembly by Speaker Leon Bignell, which clears the way for a date to be set for the by-election. Saturday, November 16 is the first possible date it can be held. Both the Liberal and Labor parties have already announced their candidates. Teacher Alex Dighton is the ALP's pick. Amanda Wilson is the Lib's choice in what is expected to be a tight contest. It'll be a hive of activity at Westfield Marion this morning. Global makeup brand Sephora is opening its second Adelaide store. The first local outlet opened in the mall in 2019. Now looking at 5AA Sport.
The 2024 Mitsubishi Triton comes with 10 years warranty, plus 3 years free servicing, only at Agostino Mitsubishi.
And Tom Wren, the deal's been done.
It has been. It's the big one that everyone's been talking about, isn't it, Graham? And that is that Port Adelaide has moved dual All-Australian Dan Houston onto Collingwood as the trade period enters its final day. Houston will arrive at the Pies while the Power get back Jack Lukosius, Joe Richards and Rory Atkins. They also have picks 13, 29, 36 and 50 in this year's draft, but give up next year's first-round selection. Switching codes, new Socceroos coach Tony Popovic is pleased with what he's seen from his side in his first 2 games in charge. After a dreadful start to the third round of World Cup qualifying, the Socceroos had picked up 4 points from a possible 6 in their last 2 outings. After a 1-1 draw in Japan, Popovic says it's been a positive start.
We'll reflect on a good October window. November, we want to play better. That will be the aim, and players go back to their clubs. Hopefully they go back healthy, they play well, and other players I'm sure will get an opportunity.
Let's go to rugby. Wallabies assistant coach Laurie Fisher is praising new recruit Joseph Suaalii. The former Blues Origin centre has completed his highly publicised code switch from the NRL. Fisher believes the 21-year-old will slot right in.
He's a really nice young man. He's an excellent athlete. He's a quick learner, and he's hungry to be successful. And he doesn't want to overcomplicate the game, which fits in nice with what we want to do.
And former tennis number one Ash Barty has launched the inaugural Ash Barty Schools Challenge. It's a nationwide initiative encouraging primary school students to pick up a racket and engage with tennis. And that's the 5AA Sport.
Thanks, Tom. Now checking 5AA traffic.
Lynn Andrews Real Estate, experts in commercial and residential property management. lynnandrews.com.au.
Hey, good morning. Got a crash to watch out for at the moment in Para Hills West, McIntyre Road near Bridge Road. And in Hilton, the road plates have come off. That's on South Road at Sir Donald Bradman Drive, affecting city-bound traffic. Check your speeds, Burbridge Road West Beach, Kensington Road Norwood and Seaview Road Henley Beach. The Volkswagen Amarok sales event has utes to carry tools or school bags or surfboards and lots more at prices for everyone. Offer ends November 30, excludes Pan Americana and Aventura Diesel. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
Another 5AA forecast.
See any issue firsthand with AutoCam. Real-time video, direct to you from your Automaster's technician.
30 with a possible shower today. Tomorrow showers, possible storm 30. Friday showers 21. Saturday partly cloudy 21. Currently in Adelaide, it's 21. More news as it happens on 5AA.
I'll have an Edwardstown Mazda with a lot, thanks.
Absolutely. Drive on through.
Buy any new Mazda from Edwardstown Mazda and they'll turn it into a Mazda with the lot. Get 2 years free servicing, $500 of free accessories, a $500 car care voucher and 5 years roadside assistance on top of already reduced drive-away prices. Get your Mazda with the lot only at Edwardstown Mazda, the #1 destination for Mazda in SA.
It's gotta be.
T's and C's apply.
The biggest threat to your business isn't your competition. It's cybercrime. Cybercrime threats impacting Australian businesses large and small continues to grow year on year. One call to one solution will put your business in a safe place and save you from the devastating consequences of cybercrime. It's the smartest, most cost-effective business decision you'll ever make. Stay safe and protected. Get in touch with One Solution. onesolution.net.au, a Platinum Telstra partner.
Now, everyone needs to tune in carefully to what we are about to say. If you are living alone, regardless of your age, you've got to have a Care Alert smart dialer protecting you while you're at home, and it's especially important if you are older.
That's right. We love doing these announcements for the Steele family because they're wonderful, wonderful people who've created up a business just through, their own creativity and thought, and something that's got real application for older people or people with mobility issues. The Care Alert Smart Dialer, it's an easy-to-use emergency personal alert system. It sends instant notifications to family and friends, or you can have the option of 24/7 professional monitoring if help is needed urgently.
It's perfect for elderly parents or for those that are living independently. When the smart dialer is sent to you, now this is a really great point, it's all fully programmed and ready to go. You don't have to read the instructions and punch in all sorts of information. It is just an excellent life-saving product.
We've used one in our family. I know Will's family have as well. In fact, in a recent survey, over 75% of 2,000 elderly people said a personal alert system was the single most important device that would keep them staying longer in their own homes. And that makes sense when you think about it, because it's like having your own guard consistently protecting you.
Now, these fantastic devices, they could also be free too through My Aged Care or the NDIS, or even through our own state government. So if you'd like to learn more, simply visit carealert.com.au or give them a buzz. Great people, the Steeles. 1300 75 85 95.
If you need to fix your pipes, call Precise. Call Precise. If your toilet's blowing up, call Precise. Call Precise. If your lights aren't turning on, or your hot water is gone, or a plumber or an electrician, call Precise. Precise.
Precise Plumbing and Electrical. Call 1300 700 200. That's 1300 700 200. Precise Plumbing and Electrical. Local and experienced trade specialists.
Or a plumber or an electrician, call Precise. Call Precise.
Adelaide Appliance Gallery makes your everyday easier with spectacular savings on selected Smeg cooktops. Save up to $1,000. You'll also save up to $2,000 on Victoria and Portofino cookers, plus 10% off matching range hoods. With offers this good, some terms, conditions and exclusions apply. From the kitchen to the laundry, Adelaide Appliance Gallery makes your everyday easier. Call into 155 Paynham Road, St Peters and look at their stunning designer appliance gallery, or visit adelaideappliancegallery.com.au.
Head to your Hyundai dealer for run-out offers across MY24 range. Petrol and diesel vehicles. T's and C's apply.
David Penberthy and Will Goodings, 5AA Breakfast.
20 minutes to 8, Police Commissioner about an hour away. On yesterday's program during our 7 o'clock news wrap, we talked about the federal government's commitment, pending an RBA investigation, into removing these pesky card surcharges when you don't use cash. Just 12% of all retail transactions are now cash. The predominant way people buy things is by tap and go or with a card, and it does incur a surcharge. The federal government say they'll get rid of it by 2026. Now, there are two groups we're primarily interested in how this will affect consumers, 99% of our listeners, but also small businesses. And immediately yesterday during our conversation, our mind went back to a chat we had with the Small Business Ombudsman, Bruce Bilson. So we invited him on the program this morning to get his thoughts. Bruce, good morning to you.
Well, fab to be with you and Pembo.
Bruce, great having you on again, mate. We loved our segment last time. We got really good feedback from the listeners about it too, so we're thrilled that you can join us again. We recently had our... you're a Victorian. What do they call the annual show over there? We call it the Royal Show here in Adelaide.
Yeah. Yep.
The Showbag Pavilion became the focus for a lot of public anger about this because people were buying their show bags, $5 for Birdie Beetle or whatever, and suddenly every single little transaction was getting, 15, 20, 60 cents, whatever it was, added to it. And it's suddenly become an issue that's really driving the punters mad.
Yeah, look, it's some people have said it's a bit like travelling to the US where you go and buy something and then when you go to pay it's a bit more because of different sales taxes. And some are saying, look, this surcharging thing's a bit like that. What's happening, though, is that we've got some rather expensive charges on those payment transactions in businesses that margins are really thin. And Pembo, you'll remember we talked about hospitality where if you've got a 6, 7, 8% profitability, you're doing pretty well. But if you then find that getting scraped out by excessive costs just to receive payments from your customers, it gets pretty grim. So what's been happening as business conditions have tightened and profitability has really become a challenge? So let's not forget 46% of small businesses didn't make a profit in the last tax reporting year. These extra costs on top of energy, rent, wages bill and all that's made it pretty tough. So what some merchants have been doing, not all, but some, have been passing those costs on, and others have been wondering, well, hang on, why am I paying, 3 times as much as a merchant to have this payment transaction processed compared to, say, a supermarket where they've got a super sweetheart deal and they pay a fraction of the cost?
Yeah.
And that's what the Reserve Bank's having a look at. No one wants to pass on, business costs that aren't justified, and businesses want to be profitable. But when they've got, these charging regimes for receiving a payment in a form other than cash, and the prices are steep in some areas, they're having to deal with that. And that's really what the Reserve Bank's looking at.
Bruce,
driving the cost.
Sorry, Bruce. We all get it from the perspective of the consumer in terms of the fee that gets slapped on the end. I think the thing that certainly I reckon a lot of our listeners wouldn't entirely grasp is the relationship between the small business owner and that middle person between them and the bank that collects the fee. How much capacity is there to shop around and get a better deal? Is it based on your FPOS system? How does that come about? Are the small businesses beholden to these people, or have they got an opportunity to try and cut a better deal for themselves?
Yeah, they can, but there's 3 parts to that. One is they can get a better deal from their banks, and we have been urging the banks to activate what is called least cost routing. So when you're there and you go to wave your card or your phone, the terminal picks the payment channel that is the cheapest one for that transaction. Now, that's good news for you. That's good news for the merchant. But we're only finding about half of those terminals are activated for least cost routing. So that's what we've been calling for. Otherwise, it's a bit like, the payment being shoved down an expensive payment channel because, everyone gets a bit of a clip. That'd be a bit like you and me, owning a sat-nav business and a toll road, and didn't matter where we wanted to go, we got pushed onto the toll road. We'd know that'd be dodgy.
Yeah. They did that in Sydney with the cross-city tunnel.
Well, and people look at that and go, gee, that's a bit odd. And so this is the same thing in least cost routing. Why don't those payments go down the cheapest channel to execute that payment? And that would then take pressure off the cost of receiving that payment and therefore reduce the likelihood of surcharging. In another area, there's about a dozen different payment service providers. So they kind of sit between the merchant, the bank, who issues the card. Everyone's having a bit of a clip. But they say, hey, guess what, Pembo? We'll make it easy for you. It'll be 4% on every transaction. You go, oh, 4%. Gee, that's a bit steep. Oh, but don't worry. We'll give you a terminal that drops that in automatically, and it just pops up, and we'll let you know about other things like stock levels and all that. So they're bundling stuff into that process and then pushing on a cost to the merchant that then pops up, when you go to tap your card as a surcharge. This is what the Reserve Bank's trying to unpick and have a look at, why are we paying so much? Why is there such a sweetheart deal for the big supermarkets? And why are small merchants getting, skewered at the end of it at a time when they can least afford it because of difficult trading conditions?
It seems silly, though, Bruce, that these things incur a cost. It just looks like rank opportunism. That's something that's now become the way of the world for 90% of financial transactions has become a vehicle for... Because some of these companies that are involved in the provision of these financial services... In fact, I saw yesterday they've started tanking a bit on the stock market because I think they can see the freight train coming.
Oh, I think that's right. I mean, frankly, some of them have been doing very well. Money for jam, because people know that it's confusing, the moving parts around getting a payment, who's issued the card, what bank is processing it, where's it being received, what's the cost of the service that's part of it. I mean, it's also, opaque. It's really hard to get a handle on, and people just sort of shrug their shoulders and think that's not that flash. And so some of those businesses have been, making good money in that fog, in that confusion. They've been saying, look, here's a percentage transaction charge. It's all pretty clear, and we'll bump it straight through when it comes time to pay. So it'll, quote, cost you nothing. But the reality is the actual cost of executing that transaction is nothing like that charge that's being applied. And then that's money for jam in the middle. So that's what this examination's about. I'm pleased it's underway. There's a bit of a question mark over how much power the Reserve Bank has over some of these arrangements, and they've got to check whether they've got the legislative cover to deal with it. And then there's other things changing all the time, like like your phone. The next iPhone's going to have some functionality on it that you can choose credit card, debit card, which system. I mean, that's all good stuff, but you've got regulators trying to keep up with that. Consumers, hoping they're not being ripped off, and small businesses battling to keep the lights on. Yeah, correct. Hey, there's a really good explanation, Bruce, and I've got to say, I've got no finance journo background at all, so it was good having someone like you, who's a great explainer of these things, to come on and... Look, I'm on because I'm really cheap, and the dad jokes are there. In fact, I want to thank South Australian Police. My auntie's out in Loxley, and someone went and ripped off all of their lamps. It was important decor for mood and sentiment. Anyway, she was getting upset because no one came back to her, so I rang the police. And they said, Bruce, you've got to appreciate, we've got a lot on here. There's a new swanky cake and a specialty sweet shop opened in Rundle Street Mall. There was a riot there because it was so popular. And we're having trouble finding who the criminals were, because when we looked at the CCTV footage, the street was deserted. And I go, oh, wow. And then, there was a games convention on at the convention centre, and there was a Scrabble contest, and that turned into a brawl, and there were Scrabble boxes and tiles thrown everywhere. And I said, well, what's happening there? And they said, yet no word on the street. and I said, well, what about my case? Why haven't you done anything about it? And they said, well, we've looked up the file, and apparently you've been in touch with us, but when we've checked it out, it's, yes, many lamps stolen, homeowner upset, Mr. Bilson, he's been a little bit agitated, but in the end, basically because of that, he's delighted.
Bruce, superb.
How big was that?
Magnificent work. Good to have you on.
Oh, there was a lot in that.
Yeah, there was. That was magnificent. Bruce Filson, small business ombudsman, small-time stand-up comic. Always good to have him on.
He's like a sort of, business and finance expert crossed with
superb.
The masked comic from the Gong Show.
It's just superb.
That was brilliant.
All right, let's check traffic. Thanks to Luba House, the leaders in transforming your outdoor space and a great entertainment area with an opening and closing route.
Yeah, well, if you're heading down to the south coast in High Marsh Valley, there's some roads closed thanks to a serious crash. Victor Harbour Road between Crow's Nest Road and High Marsh Tiers Road. Also a crash this morning in Para Hills West, McIntyre Road near Bridge Road. And in Hilton, the road plates have come off. That's on South Road at Sir Donald Bradman Drive, affecting city bound. Truckloads of new stock have just arrived at the Harvey Norman clearance stores, Marion and Jeps Cross. Run out furniture, bedding, outdoor and more, price to clear. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
Right now, there's never been a better time to buy a new forklift from Toyota Material Handling. Choose from Toyota's massive range, famous for legendary reliability and safety. Plus, enjoy a low finance rate from just 2.9% on Toyota's 8F BRE Reach forklifts and SWE 120S walkie stackers currently in stock. Hurry, limited time only. See the Toyota forklifts range at toyotamaterialhandling.com.au. Get a Toyota. Approved business applicants only. Terms, conditions, fees and charges apply. Maximum term is 48 months. Offer ends 28 Feb 2025.
Hi, I'm Lynn Andrews. The Lynn Andrews team have seen a lot of change in real estate over the past 50 years, but one thing remains unchanged: our passion to help people invest in their future. To build strong property portfolios in either the residential or the commercial sectors. Our commitment to property investment over the years means we have a wealth of knowledge to share. We're here to help you. Visit lynnandrews.com.au.
Samtas Seafood make premium dining at home easy and affordable. What about the lineup? Local King George whiting fillets, $53.99 a kilo. Sweet Coorong mullet fillets, you can impress your guests with this, $33.99 a kilo and save. And also start your meal with freshly opened Smoky Bay oysters.
And don't miss the season's #1 deal, raw South Aussie king prawns from just $13.99 a kilo and large cooked prawns only $21.99 per kilo. The perfect catch for any occasion.
Plus, fill your freezer with their unbeatable deal, 4 kilos of premium snap frozen seafood for just $60. Samdas hasn't got the memo. They haven't changed the price on this for years. Yeah, I know. Even if you said that to Mark there, he wouldn't do it.
They'd slap the taste out of my mouth.
They'd slap you with a barramundi.
Yeah, they would.
Do. Choose from barramundi, snapper, dory, or Atlantic salmon, each in 1 kilo packs. Mix and match 4 kilos for only $60.
Feed your family for weeks with this incredible $60 seafood deal. Choose from New Zealand oven-ready battered whiting, crumb prawns, salt and pepper squid, whitebait, or Tassie Atlantic salmon cutlets.
Samtas Seafoods, Adelaide's only factory direct premium seafood specialists, open 7 days a week, unbeatable value, uncompromised quality. 201 Richmond Road, Richmond. I'll see you there and hurry. The $13.99 prawn deal ends soon.
Gone are the days of bulky solar panels. NRG Solar is ushering in a new era of sleek, efficient solar technology. With just a few panels, harness the power of the sun like never before. The equation is simple. More efficiency, more savings. Join the revolution with NRG Solar. Discover simplicity at 1275 South Road St Mary's or online at nrgsolar.com.au. NRG Solar, for a brighter, more sustainable tomorrow.
5AA Breakfast is streaming live right now. To watch, simply head to 5AA on Facebook or YouTube. Head to your Hyundai dealer for run-out offers across MY24 range. Petrol and diesel vehicles. T's and C's apply.
David Penberthy and Will Goodings, 5AA Breakfast.
7 to 8. Do you know a healthcare hero? 5AA and Always Care want to celebrate the amazing healthcare workers in our community. Simply head to 5AA.com.au to nominate someone and they could win $1,000 in cash. Always Care services, the support you need to live happily and independently no matter what your situation. alwayscare.com.au. The big story we've been following this morning is potentially the 16th arson attack on a tobacconist in Adelaide since July, and as Jade Robran went through in excellent detail at 7:05, these seem to be now happening with increasing frequency. A little bit earlier, she spoke with one of the shop owners in the proximity of this Cowandilla incident that played out at 11 last night. In fact, here are the key details from Rebecca Stokes.
Residents of a nearby unit were evacuated for safety. Our crime scene investigators attended the scene and police believe the fire is deliberately lit. We're investigating whether there's any links to our Operation Eclipse. So far there's been 15 fires that have been linked to the illicit tobacco trade in South Australia since July.
Subsequent to our last chat, Jade's caught up with a woman by the name of Sharon who saw the whole thing unfold.
Sharon, you got woken up by this last night. Can you tell me what you experienced?
I got up and I seen smoke coming out of the back door in the car park, and then when I went round the front and it was just up in flames. It was just up everywhere. It was going... Yeah.
And the fireys, were they here at that point?
Yes, the fireys were here.
Did they get it under control pretty quickly?
Yes, they did. And the residents that live upstairs all had to come downstairs.
How terrifying for you.
Yeah, it was. And there's a baby that lives upstairs as well, so...
How was everyone last night?
Very shaken up about it all, yeah.
Did they know what had happened at that point?
No.
And have you been told what's happened today?
Well, I knew it was a tobacco shop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Has anything like this ever happened around here or to
No.
that particular shop before?
No.
And you know the owner of the building, they
Yes.
must be devastated.
Well, he hasn't arrived yet, so...
Excellent reporting from Jade Robin at the scene. We're going to be chatting in depth on all these issues with the Police Commissioner today after 8:30.
So we're wearing your old political advisor hat, your stint advising pollies as to how things are going to pan out.
They're highly successful.
Yeah, no, don't sell yourself short. So, hypothetically, you're working for Anthony Albanese, and
I see where this is going.
yesterday's diary, you're down to go to Queensland in the midst of the Queensland state election campaign, where you're going to join with Claire O'Neill, the Housing Minister, who we had in the studio 2 weeks ago, and also the Federal Treasurer, Jim Chalmers, to announce sort of seed funding for cheaper housing for people at a time when we spoke with Claire O'Neill, she sort of admitted that, well, yeah, we haven't really got the runs on the board yet with the number of houses that have been built. So on that day, on that very day, if the boss, if Albo said to you, look, there's also another story that's going to come out today. I've just bought a $4.3 million absolute waterfront property in the exquisitely named Copacabana. Would you have any views about the timing of that, or?
Yeah, I would actually. I'd ask him, is this home so good that it's worth no longer being the Prime Minister? Because it might just be that's what's unfolding here.
Yeah.
I'll confess, I got totally different views on this as a private citizen I would as I was giving paid political advice. Because this is the worst possible look on what is one of the most emotive issues in the country at the moment, because it goes to cost of living, it goes to how in touch the Prime Minister is,
affordability.
It goes to housing affordability, it goes to the housing crisis, his government's inability to get any positive movement on that front, and against that backdrop, you're going to buy a cliff-top mansion. I think he actually reasonably raised the question, does he want to be the Prime Minister any longer? If you're making those kind of decisions.
I think it looks like he's almost mentally checking out or coming up with a plan B in case the worst happens.
But on the other side, just as if zooming out and forgetting the actual context of this in today's political moment, I kind of want the position of Prime Minister of one of the richest and freest countries on earth to be a position that's coveted, that has benefits.
Yeah.
That is the kind of thing that is a desirable position. Because there's a lot of reasons not to do it, and there's a lot of reasons that really talented people don't go into politics. You can certainly earn more, and you can certainly have a lot less scrutiny doing other things.
Conversations like this being one of them.
Exactly right.
Because no one's talking about some private
So I
bloke
don't begrudge him having a $4.3 million mansion. The guy has run, whether you think he's done a good job or not, but he's got to the point of running one of the biggest economies in one of the best countries on earth. Well, that's got to be something we want good people trying to do.
He did win the lottery of life, though, by buying, and this isn't said in a pejorative sense. He's just a Sydney person who's lucky
who's
to
owned property at the right time.
in Sydney.
That's right.
Way back when it was stupidly affordable compared to what it is now. Like his house in Marrickville.
Crazy.
I knew some people. I've actually been to that house because some mates of mine rented it off him. And it's just a normal sort of Federation type bungalow, the sort of one you'd see like probably, I don't know, like where I am, like Wayville or Parkside. But a couple of blokes were renting it. It's a great house. It's just a big old house. But that would probably have tripled in value. Oh, no, more than that. I mean, you buy an apartment in Cabramatta 15 years ago, you've got a bigger nest egg now than you probably have with a proper house here in Adelaide. So there's that part of it. But the timing...
Yeah. So,
it I think invites speculation that he's not long for this world. And it does... You can see why a lot of people are going, well, it's nice for some.
I think it's politically imprudent, but personally I've got no problem with it. We've got lots of text coming through. Let's have a listen to what... let's get to some callers on the line as well. 8223 0000. Fire through your Dutton's text as well, 044808 1395.
One here from Terry pointing out, it's not a good look, but a gentle reminder that over the past 20 years, your mate Dutz has bought and sold over 12 properties, claiming many of them as his home and avoiding capital gains tax. 2 years ago, he sold his Palm Beach house he bought for $2.3 million for $6 million, netting him a profit of $3.7 million. Thank you, Terry.
Yeah, well, and it's why Peter Dutton didn't say anything critical of it yesterday. Simply that he congratulated him on preparing for life after politics, which is a fairly sort of cute way of tackling it. Keep your thoughts coming through. It's a fascinating issue. I'd love to know what people think. 044808 1395. We'll give us a buzz. 8223 0000.
His name was Albo. He bought a beach house.
The very latest news and information. This is 5AA News, always Adelaide.
A possible shower and 30 today with the 8 o'clock news. Good morning, I'm Graham Goodings.
Make RAA-approved windscreen repairer, Complete Windscreens, your insurer repairer of choice. Visit completewindscreens.com.au.
Another night and another shop fire. A tobacco shop on Sir Donald Bradman Drive at Cowandilla is the latest to be targeted. Rashid owns a cafe over the road and says it's concerning.
When you see your neighbors get burned, it feels uneasy to anybody anywhere in the world. So yes, it is a problem. It is a major problem, but we're not sure what happened with the tobacco and the burning down, so we can't really say anything about it.
Police are investigating links to the illegal tobacco wars. It would be the 16th arson attack since July. The Albanese government is considering a range of options to stop consumers being ripped off through tricky marketing tactics. Federal Politics editor Michael Packey.
Labor is trying to shift the conversation back to cost of living measures as the government is again distracted by other issues. This time, the Prime Minister's decision to purchase a $4 million home while many are struggling to get into the property market. Today, Anthony Albanese will announce a plan to rein in unfair trading practices to protect consumers when buying things like concert tickets, booking a hotel room or taking out a gym membership. There's growing concern some businesses are using tactics which skirt current laws. The government is seeking advice on how to tighten regulations to help people avoid subscription traps and hidden fees.
The US President is threatening to cut military support for Israel if the country doesn't provide aid to Gaza. Around 400,000 Palestinians are in northern Gaza. The United Nations has just made its first food aid delivery to the region for the first time in 2 weeks. A stolen car was pushed down an embankment at Yatalunga overnight. Senior Constable Rebecca Stokes says police were called to Riggs Road just after 2 a.m, finding the car in a creek.
There was no one with the vehicle when police arrived. However, witnesses had heard 2 or 3 voices before the loud bang, and another vehicle leaving the scene. That Toyota Camry had been stolen from a rideshare driver by 2 teenagers in Salisbury on Monday afternoon.
As thousands of cyclists take to the road marking National Ride to Work Day, figures reveal cycling levels are falling. The RAA has renewed its call for a $10 million state bicycle fund to build more cycling infrastructure, reduce traffic congestion and improve safety. However, a survey by the International Workplace Group shows just 2 in 5 bike riders use cycling to commute to their workplace. They are calling for more incentives to get people on their bikes. The date for the Black by-election is set to be announced today. Mel Usher has the details.
David Speers' resignation will be formally announced to the House of Assembly today by Speaker Leon Bignell after his resignation letter was received yesterday. That clears the way for the date to be set for the by-election in his southern suburbs seat of Black. Both the Liberal and Labor parties have already announced their candidates. Teacher Alex Dighton is the ALP's pick. Amanda Wilson is the Lib's choice. Saturday, November 16 is the first possible date the by-election can be held. Mr Speers will front court on the 15th, charged charged with supplying a controlled substance. The 39-year-old former Liberal leader has vowed to clear his name of any allegations.
International airfares have been slashed by 5 to 10% over the past quarter. Figures from Flight Centre show travellers are saving more than $100 per ticket compared with the same time last year. Domestic economy fares have increased by 3 to 5%, up $10 to $20 a seat. Now looking at 5AA Sport.
The 2024 Mitsubishi Triton comes with 10 years warranty, plus 3 years free servicing, only at Agostino Mitsubishi.
And here's Tom Wren.
Thank you, Graham. Less than 12 hours remain in the AFL trade period and some big deals are still to be completed. Adelaide is expected to get James Peatling from GWS, but it's looking less certain for other players like Bailey Smith, Jack McRae, Caleb Daniel, Tom Barrass, Luke Parker and Jake Stringer. But the deal for Dan Houston is complete. He'll play with Collingwood from next season. Let's go to soccer. Australia has come away from its World Cup qualifier with Japan with a point, drawing 1-1 in Saitama. In a match starved of highlights, the two sides exchanged own goals in the second half in front of more than 63,000 fans. The Socceroos did their best to hold on until Cam Burgess turned one into his own net from a Japanese cross.
It's all square, one own goal each, and Australia's lead has evaporated with 15 to go.
Audio there thanks to Paramount. Well, England has been knocked out of the Cricket Women's T20 World Cup following a 6-wicket loss against the West Indies. Meantime, the Adelaide Strikers have showed some promising form ahead of the WBBL in their Spring Challenge match. Madeline Penner with a stunning century as they took care of the Melbourne Renegades by 17 runs at Karen Rolton Oval. And Pat Cummins could miss part of Australia's Test tour of Sri Lanka in January and February, the captain opting to spend time at home around the time of the birth of his second child. To racing, Jolistar is the only runner to have firmed up after the barrier draw for Saturday's The Everest at Royal Randwick. Chris Waller's mare will jump from barrier 4 in the world's richest race on turf. Overseas, the New York Yankees have taken a 1-0 lead in their best-of-7 American League Championship Series after a 5-2 win against the Cleveland Indians. Game 2 will be played in New York a little later this morning. And Week 6 of the NFL is now complete after the Buffalo Bills held on for a thrilling 23-20-point win. That was against the New York Jets. And that's the 5AA Sport.
Thanks, Tom. Now looking at 5AA traffic.
Lynn Andrews Real Estate, experts in commercial and residential property management. lynnandrews.com.au.
Hello there, got some roads closed down in Highmarsh Valley thanks to a serious crash. Victor Harbour Road between Crow's Nest Road and Highmarsh Tiers Road. In Manopara, a car's gone into a tree, Curtis Road near Douglas Avenue. In Para Hills West, a crash, McIntyre Road near Bridge Road. And in Hilton, some road plates have come off. That's on South Road at Sir Donald Bradman Drive, affecting city-bound traffic. Save $3,000 on the Volkswagen Multivan with the Multivan Run-Out Sale. Offer ends December 31. See volkswagen.com.au for further details. Conditions apply. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
And now the 5AA weather.
See any issue firsthand with AutoCam. Real-time video, direct to you from your Automaster's technician.
A possible shower and 30 today. Tomorrow showers, possible storm 30. Friday showers 21. Saturday partly cloudy 21. Currently it's 22 degrees. More news as it happens on 5AA.
Beechwood Homes, Adelaide's leading bespoke home builder, celebrates 35 years. Over that time, they've helped many hundreds of people realise their dream of building a home exactly how they envisioned it. That's the wonderful thing about building with Beechwood. There are no set plans, no set rules. It all starts with a pen, paper, and your ideas. Just like it did 35 years ago. If you can dream it, Beechwood Homes can build it. Life's good. It's even better in a Beechwood home.
I'll grab a few people I know. We'll mark out some places to go. There's no invitation, just a destination, and that's the best freedom I know. Jump in the Jayco. Jump in the Jayco. Yeah, that's the best freedom I know.
If you're thinking of selling your home, you'd better think 4 months ahead, because that's how long it can take to get everything in order. Hi, Daniel Talia here, General Manager of Home. That's H-A-U-M-E. And I'm here with some good news. We'll buy your home right now. No waiting, no fees, no open inspections, and no marketing costs. You'll save in the tens of thousands, and we can settle when it suits you. Visit home.com.au. We buy homes, and remember, HAUME.com.au.
Here at 5AA, we're all about supporting local. Farmyard Wines, where cheeky wines meet well-hung vines. Uncap a bottle of fun and flavour without breaking the bank. Visit farmyardwines.com.
Everybody knows Right Price are the heating and cooling experts. So imagine how much you can save when they join forces with EcoVantage, the incentive experts. Together with Right Price, EcoVantage will help you source all the government incentives you're entitled to when it comes to heating and cooling your home, including energy-efficient heat pump hot water systems. Right Price and EcoVantage, the best of both worlds when it comes to heating, cooling and government incentives.
Setting the agenda for South Australia. This is 5AA, always Adelaide.
Head to your Hyundai dealer for run-out offers across MY24 range. Petrol and diesel vehicles. T's and C's apply.
David Penberthy and Will Goodings, 5AA Breakfast.
10 after 8, breaking at 8, not too far away. The Police Commissioner after 8:30. Huge amount of feedback on the Duttons text line to the Albo new home story. The Duttons text line, thanks to the great people there at Duttons Car Dealerships in the Adelaide Hills and Murray Bridge. They are easy to do business with.
There's quite a lot of people defending him. Greg says, why is everyone reading into this that Albo's checking out? He's probably just bought it as the opportunity arose. I would have. One here, the Liberal commentators at it again. Good on Albo, enjoy. The timing, media timing, you mean?
Well, the timing is the reason we describe it as politically imprudent because it opens you up during an election campaign to the government said fixing the housing crisis was their priority, but it seems the Prime Minister's priority was fixing his own housing crisis. Like, it just opens you up on already an area of weakness. And I don't think anyone's denying him. Well, if you're making the political observation, it's simply about buy it the day after the election.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
That's always, he's every right to do it.
It's undeniable, though, that things like this matter in politics. And we spoke just before 7 with our good friend Vincent McAviney in the UK. He mentioned Rishi Sunak. Now, Rishi Sunak ended up at the tail end of his prime ministership. There was one event he held where he visited a factory floor and he was wearing Gucci loafers at the time that cost like $1,200 a pair. And it became the story. Conversely now, Sir Keir Starmer has been voted in. He's, making reasonably good money as you do and you should do when you're the Prime Minister of a major global democracy. But he's copping it for his wife accepting free clothes. Like, these material things matter.
Well, for him sitting in a corporate box going to the soccer.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. So in people's mind, these things matter. Ergo, it is a discussion point. And, for all the people that we've had defending Albo, there's others saying along the lines of, Roger, can we really trust a socialist who wears good suits and buys a really expensive house? And there's a good one from John in Glenelg who just simply says, hey, I'm more than happy that the Prime Minister has purchased his retirement home. Hopefully he'll be in it full time early next year.
It's time for breaking at 8. And I think this would be a priority that we'd like the federal government to focus on, fixing the NDIS for people like Alex Costa-Riadas, who now I think this will be the 3rd or 4th time he's joined us on the program, trying to get something that really should be, with a stroke of a pen, fixed up. The reason this entity exists is to help people like Alex. To catch you up if you're not across his story, Alex was a small business owner. He was forced to sell when his daughter, who requires 2-on-1 care 24 hours a day, moved from the schooling system to needing care outside of school because she's aged out of it. Now, the NDIS said, well, that environment, that situation isn't, in our view, a good use of money. Well, what's meant that Alex had to sell his business. It's put his home, his life, and everything in jeopardy. And he's been trying to get this reassessed by the NDIS for weeks and months now, and there has been an unfathomable barrier to getting what is such an obvious decision made. He joins us again on 5AA Breakfast with an update. Alex, good morning to you.
Good morning. How are you guys?
We're good, thanks, Alex. As Will said, it does feel like months. I think it was early this year when we first spoke to you about the situation with your daughter. Have you had any resolution at all, Alex?
No, it just keeps getting worse. It's like living a nightmare almost now. We're currently 2 weeks into ICU at the Queen Elizabeth Hospital with our daughter, being in like an induced coma state. And that's all come about by, all the anxiety that this has caused for her in her life. So,
Oh, mate.
yeah, so we're not in a good place at the moment, but since we last spoke, we followed the process because our review, like we told you, was bungled up in our eyes because the lady didn't open an email with the new information because she thought it was an American date. So we just followed the process, which is going to the tribunal, which is an independent body that looks that makes a decision on your case. And Nat Cook reached out to us, and Nat Cook reached out to us after speaking to you as well. She tried to help us, sending emails to Bill Shorten. And I don't know if we're just unlucky with timing or this is how the system works, but as soon as our application got accepted at the tribunal, we received an email back from Bill Shorten saying, because you've applied to the tribunal, I can't get involved anymore. And the complaints officer from the NDIS rang because we raised a complaint about our review. Had me on the phone 45 minutes saying how terrible it was what we were going through, but then at the end go, you've gone to the tribunal, so we can't help you on those matters that you've gone to the tribunal on. Is there anything else I can help you with? So now, my poor girl, we had to readjust her plan again so it can last to April next year, just in case, we never win. Which means we cut a lot of her carers that were like her best friends, cut a few of her activities out that she did during the day, so her whole life was thrown in turmoil again in her eyes, and, she felt unwanted, she felt scared, and the cracks just started widening and widening in her behaviour, to the point of 2 weeks ago we had to call an ambulance and get her to the QEH to help look after her. And now she's in an induced coma state for the past 2 weeks.
And this is, so this is the process in their view working, isn't it, Alex? Because they would say that we might well go through the tribunal and the right outcome will be made and it'll be fixed, but it won't be fixed because now the compounding element of all this is the delay. Like the original assessment being wrong, and this hopeless person who apparently didn't know which country they were in and didn't read the dates right. Is one part of it. But the delay in and of itself is the thing that's now making this infinitely worse. So even if they come to the right decision from this point, the damage has been done, hasn't it?
Oh, that's what I keep saying. Who's responsible for this? Like, losing our business, losing our beautiful daughter, the damage it's done to her, the stress it's put on our family, the financial stress, everything you can imagine. Because right now I haven't worked for 2 weeks again, sitting by her bedside.
Hey, Alex,
they can give me $1 million tomorrow. It's still not going to fix our family situation.
How confident are you? Because I know about this only in the context of immigration stories, not in the context of NDIS type stories. But is it 100% the case that once something's before the tribunal, the minister can't get involved? Have you been assured that is absolute hard and fast rule, like under administrative law, that the minister can't get? Because I thought the ministerial power to intervene was actually sort of capable of overriding anything if they needed.
Well, that's what the email read from Bill Shorten's office to Nat Cook.
I reckon that might be rubbish. I reckon they might be using that to cover their backsides myself.
But I mean, let's be clear about it. Fix it. Well, that's just it. Bill Shorten knows about this case.
Yeah. Well, speaking about people who've checked out, he's already
he's retired. He's retired. I guess he's got to go on holiday and do other things. In the meantime, Alex is sitting into the ICU for 2 weeks. I mean, why are these people in these jobs? That's a disgrace. So he knows about it. Let's name everyone who knows about it. Who else have you contacted that hasn't gotten back to you or done anything about it?
Well, he's the main one because he's the guy that
it's his portfolio.
Office, so everyone that I've tried to contact, the Federal Health Minister, Malinauskas' office, everyone we've sort of tagged in our emails, all sent stuff to his office. So, everything goes to the top there. I even went into Peter Malinauskas' office. I thought it was his office, but it's the Croydon delegate one. and they just said the same thing. Everything just goes to Bill Shorten's office. So, you know.
While we're chatting, mate,
everywhere.
I did get a message from a state government, a senior state government person saying it is the case. The minister cannot get involved, and saying to me it's not rubbish. But I reckon the point is, if he got involved in the first place, we wouldn't be in this situation because you wouldn't have had to have gone to the tribunal. You know, if he'd got on his backside from the get-go when this was apparently a problem while they're off letting other people on the NDIS go and buy, you know, healing crystals and go down to the local brothel, you know, for a bit of R&R. Well, you're in your situation with your daughter. You're exactly the type of person why the NDI should exist.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. Well, it's just bad timing that, you know, our application got accepted by the tribunal and then we get a reply from their office. I don't know.
What's the latest on when that tribunal hearing takes place, Alex?
Well, we'll get the initial consultation on November the 7th. But that's not the tribunal hearing. That's just where we sit down over a phone call and see if we can nut it out. But we're dealing with this now. We're speaking to their officers now while we're at the hospital by our daughter's bedside. So this is stuff that they don't even understand that, you know. We got to go through all of this stuff while dealing with a disabled daughter. But now on top of that, like that's what everyone else has to do as well. But now on top of that, we're dealing with our disabled daughter in induced coma and sitting by her bedside in hospital. But we still got to deal with these phone calls and trying to deal with these matters
and
while this stress is going on. So that's what really gets me. So,
what are the docs saying about your daughter, Alex?
Well, they've gone through what they did was when they've got her in, they did every test possible, MRIs, CAT scans, and all of that type of stuff to clear her of any infections or anything physical that could have caused her to trip up like she has. But that's all been clear. So they put it down to her social, you know, what's happening outside of her life, which is the NDIS stress that's caused all this. So it's proof is there. My daughter's gone through all the tests and she's physically healthy. There's nothing wrong with her physically. So now the psychiatric team stepped in and tried to get the medication right. Then we can bring her out of the induced coma and, you know, hopefully deal with her again and bring her home. So that's what we're trying to do as quick as we can, but it's a long process.
Well, we'll stay in touch with you on it, mate. I know you and Will have been talking quite a bit off the air about this one, so all the very best, mate. I hope your daughter gets better soon, and we'll keep the political pressure on from our end as well.
Thank you very much, guys, for everything you do for us.
No worries, mate. Really good text from Jane in Norwood. We send free planes to a war-torn country to repatriate people back to Australia who should have done it themselves because the foreign minister had already warned them that this could happen. Meanwhile, this poor family with their daughter in dire straits, my heart weeps for them.
Yeah, priorities.
Shorten's had a shocker with this. He's been absolutely useless with this. None of this would have happened if he hadn't got off his butt in the first place and stepped in, because he has the power to do that. So now, you know, under admin law, it's a breach of process if he does, apparently. Well, you know, the fact that it's happened is on him.
Yep. There's this view too, I think, sometimes in government that, you know, the slow wheels of bureaucracy are just part of it. You know, everyone wants it to be better, but this might be an extreme case, but this is what a victim of shitty bureaucracy looks like.
Correct, 100%. It's like, it does sound quite stressful for you at the moment. We understand. However, the date is listed for late December. Like, you know.
Unbelievable. All right, let's check traffic thanks to Louver House, the leaders in transforming your outdoor space into a great entertainment area with an opening and closing roof.
If you're heading to the south coast this morning, some roads closed in High Marsh Valley after a serious crash, unfortunately. Victor Harbour Road between Crow's Nest Road and High Marsh Tiers Road. In Manopara, cars got into a tree, Curtis Road near Douglas Drive. In Para Hills West, a crash, McIntyre Road near Bridge Road. And in Hilton, the road plates have come off, South Road at Sir Donald Bradman Drive affecting city bound. Fast food shouldn't slow you down. That's why Zambrero use only the freshest ingredients, which means it doesn't just taste good, it leaves you feeling good. Zambrero, feel good mix. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
NRG Solar knows that solar isn't just about panels. It's about future-proofing. Start your journey to self-sufficiency today. Be the visionary. Take charge. NRG Solar's new warehouse is fully stocked with a stunning range of wholesale solar and battery equipment. See it for yourself. Discover the power of solar at NRG Solar. Call 1300 858 160 or visit nrgsolar.com.au and make tomorrow brighter. That's nrgsolar.com.au.
Adelaide Appliance Gallery makes your everyday easier with spectacular savings on selected SMEG cooktops. Save up to $1,000. You'll also save up to $2,000 on Victoria and Portofino cookers, plus 10% off matching range hoods. With offers this good, some terms, conditions and exclusions apply. From the kitchen to the laundry, Adelaide Appliance Gallery makes your everyday easier. Call into 155 Paynham Road, St Peters and look at their stunning designer appliance gallery, or visit adelaideappliancegallery.com.au.
Steinborner Hyundai has always been well worth a trip, and now there's another great reason to visit. Hyundai's full range of hybrids. Steinborner Hyundai has a hybrid to suit every driver, from the hybrid i30, the Kona, the Tucson, as well as the all-new Santa Fe hybrid family-sized SUV. Experience the difference at Steinborner Barossa and Clare, with outstanding service and a great range of vehicles. And you'll see why. Steinborner Hyundai is well worth the trip. Steinborner.com.au.
Rosanna Mangiarelli here from 7 News. Join me and Will Goodings for Adelaide's leading news hour, 7 News, tonight at 6 o'clock.
Head to your Hyundai dealer for run-out offers across MY24 range. Petrol and diesel vehicles. T's and C's apply.
David Penberthy and Will Goodings, 5AA Breakfast.
25 after 8, let's head out on the road and check in again with Jade Robin. You can watch her on the Foodland Supermarkets Facebook and YouTube live stream, but she's on the road for us thanks to Dutton's, family owned and operator for 75 years and easy to do business with. Morning, Jade.
Good morning, guys. A bit of change of pace from the fire to the Adelaide 500. I am on track here, and it is a hive of activity. It is a real vibe here. All the high-vis action is out. All the stands are being put up, and it's you know that it is just around the corner. In fact, it is 1 month away. And joining me is Mark Warren, the boss of the Adelaide 500. You can smell the petrol in the air almost, can't you?
You can. There is a buzz around site. Thanks, Jade. It's really exciting coming into the 25th anniversary for the FIVEAA Adelaide 500. Super excited for all the activities we've got planned around the 25th. You can bet that there's probably going to be a birthday cake or two. We've got some fantastic displays of memorabilia and some, of course, we're going to have some cars and drivers from right back to the original race in 1999. And I've got to say, a lot of your listeners are going to have lots of memories from over the years, but probably the best is seeing Craig Lowndes in that very first race going from last to first to win that very first race. That's going to be hard to beat, but we'll give it a red hot crack this year.
Wow, I still remember that. 25 years has gone so quickly. Does this event continue to get bigger and more popular each year?
Absolutely, and I think that we always try to put more into it and to really innovate the event and to provide a different experience every year and take it to another level. And this year we're creating the mecca of motorsport. We've got everything from having speedway in the city here with the super fast sprint cars to a round of the Australian Supercross Championship also, and of course then we've got the finale for the supercars. Big concerts are planned afterwards, and so just lots of things on for the family and the fans alike.
Yeah, just on the speedway, that's coming for the first time. Tell us more about that.
Well, this is the first time that we've had sprint cars in the city since the old Rally Park days, and it's a real buzz in terms of the excitement around these things. They have a power-to-weight ratio that's better than a Formula 1 car, and they race on dirt, and there's lots of overtaking and excitement, and you can see the whole arena right in front of you and spitting out dirt, and it's just a fantastic experience. And I think that, again, a lot of people who remember Rally Park, they'll love to come down and actually see sprint cars back in the city.
That is very cool. Entertainment-wise, you've got a whole stack of great bands. You've got Cold Chisel, The Cruel Seas, Super Jesus, Crowded House. I want to ask you, I saw the sign driving in Cold Chisel, we're all in. I want to ask you about Barnsey. Is he all in? Is he going to be here? How's the health? Have you heard from him?
I think Barnsley's going to outlive all of us, actually. It's just amazing. And, yeah, look, his health is fantastic, and he's back on the road, and they're doing their tour. The biggest challenge for us is to stop him jumping off speaker stacks to make sure he looks after himself. But, no, look, he's having a ball, and Mossy's having a ball. So I think that it's going to be a fantastic performance to actually see the band together as Cold Chisel. And, look, who knows? This is their 50th anniversary. I think Barnsley, as said, will keep going. But let's see how the rest of the band goes.
Unreal, Mark. And there's still some tickets available, so people can jump on the website?
Absolutely, and we've been really surprised this year with tickets that it's really shifted to multi-day tickets now, and so people are really coming for all days and having the experience. And we think having the things like the Speedway and the Supercross as well as supercars and the concerts, I think that combination has provided the best value for money. But we are also conscious that people might only want to come for a single day, so we're trying to ring fence some seats in the grandstand so that there's an affordable way to come in and experience the event too.
Sensational, Mark Warren. Thank you so much for joining us. Guys, so much happening. 1 month to go. Jump onto the Adelaide 500 website. All the information and tickets are available there.
Terrific. Thank you,
Excellent.
Jade. Appreciate that. Jade and Mark, they're talking at the scene, I think, of what was one of the funniest moments of my entire life when we broadcast from the V8s last year. I was on the phone to you as you were said you were struggling to find the car park. And then, next thing you know, we could see you driving down Pitt Straight and literally on the track as it was being prepared for the day's racing. Genuinely one of the funniest things I've ever seen. It was a bit of comic timing worthy of a great
I was genuinely
comedic
lost.
director.
But I was doing 30 in a Toyota Kluger. I looked like some soccer mum trying to find the school oval.
One of the funniest things I've ever seen. 5AA News is coming up. The Police Commissioner next.
Salvo's Home Care South Australia provides holistic, personalised care to help older Australians live independently in their own homes. They can help with domestic assistance, nursing and personal care, transport and shopping assistance, social support and more. No entry fee, no exit fee, no basic daily care fee, just genuine care. Call 1300 111 227 to learn how Salvo's Home Care can assist you or your loved ones today.
It all started with a pen and paper 35 years ago. Lots of ideas and a ton of innovation. Nothing's changed. Beechwood Homes is still building stunning bespoke homes right across South Australia. Under construction right now is another Beechwood Homes masterpiece at Blackwood Park. This new display home will showcase Beechwood's dedication to cutting-edge design, craftsmanship and innovation. If you can dream it, Beechwood Homes can build it. Life's good. It's even better in a Beechwood home.
This is 5AA News, always Adelaide.
30 with a possible shower today. With the 8:30 news, I'm Graham Gooding.
Chipped windscreen? RAA approved repairer Complete Windscreens repairs it from just $99. Find the big red koala.
Another tobacco shop was targeted in an arson attack overnight. The front window of the shop on Sir Donald Bradman Drive at Cowandilla was smashed and something thrown inside, igniting the fire. Residents of a neighbouring unit were evacuated for their safety. Rashid owns the cafe over the road and says it's disappointing.
The boys who just recently opened, maybe on 3 months now, they're really helpful to the community. So I'm quite shocked to see it happened.
Police from Operation Eclipse are investigating. A car stolen from an Uber driver by two teenagers on Monday has been found dumped at Yatalunga. Senior Constable Rebecca Stokes says it was pushed 200 metres down an embankment on Riggs Road.
Our crime scene investigators will attend the scene this morning to examine the wrecked car, and they'll be assessing during daylight hours if it's even possible to tow it up out of that gully.
The future of the seat of Black should become clearer today. David Speer's resignation will be formally announced by the House of Assembly by Speaker Leon Bignell, which clears the way for a date to be set for the by-election. Saturday, November 16 is the first possible date it can be held. Both the Liberal and Labor parties have already announced their candidates. Teacher Alex Dighton is the ALP's pick. Amanda Wilson is the Lib's choice in what is expected to be a tight contest. Essential workers are being squeezed out of the rental market. An Anglicare report shows hospitality, construction and preschool workers are able to afford just 1% of rentals in the state. The charity Sue King says housing affordability is at a crisis point and the government needs to step in.
We're actually asking the New South Wales government to build 5,000 public and social housing a year for 10 years. I know that sounds a lot, but what that would do is it would take a lot of people out of the private rental market. It would ease the private rental market.
It's National Ride to Work Day. Bike lanes and paths are set to be busier during today's morning and afternoon peak periods, prompting a reminder for drivers to take extra care and look out for cyclists, especially where bikes and cars interact on the road. Coinciding with Ride to Work Day, RAA has renewed its call for a $10 million state bicycle fund to build more cycling infrastructure, reduce traffic congestion and improve safety. Overseas travel is becoming more affordable. Data from Flight Centre shows airfares across all international carriers have been slashed by 5 to 10% in the last quarter compared with the year prior. Global Chief Operating Officer Melissa Elf says customers now saving more than $100 each way on key routes.
The biggest fare drops are into the Middle Eastern countries like the UAE and Qatar, as well as key European countries such as France, Italy and Germany. It's welcome news for travellers, and especially our corporate travellers who rely on international travel to win new business, attend conferences, events and meetings and retain staff.
Domestic airfares, however, are on the rise, climbing 3 to 5% over the same period. It'll be a hive of activity at Westfield Marion this morning. Global makeup brand Sephora is opening its second Adelaide store. The first local outlet opened in the mall in 2019. Now turning to 5AA Sport.
The 2024 Mitsubishi Triton comes with 10 years warranty, plus 3 years free servicing, only at Agostino Mitsubishi.
And here's Tom Wren.
Thank you, Graham. The Western Bulldogs are looming as pivotal to the trade period's deadline day. There's an impasse with Geelong as the Dogs push for more than pick 17 for Bailey Smith. The Dogs are also looking for deals for Jack McRae to the Saints and Caleb Daniel to the Roos, while trying to also land Xavier O'Halloran from the Giants and Blue Matt Kennedy. Meantime, West Coast forward Matt Owes has told Wild World of Sports he knew mid-season he'd struggled to remain at Carlton.
I was sort of aware that they needed some flexibility probably midway through the year. Something could have been sorted out, but as the year finished and through exits, became more clear that just unfortunately I was out of contract at the wrong time.
And Dan Houston will play with Collingwood after a deal was finalised yesterday, while the Power picks up some picks as well as Jack Lukosius, Joe Richards and Rory Atkins. Well, the Socceroos will come home from Japan with a valuable point after their World Cup qualifying match last night. Own goals from both sides saw the game finish at 1-1 in front of more than 63,000 fans in Saitama. Coach Tony Popovic has told Paramount the boys did well for a new-look squad.
We're happy with the result, of course. But I'd like us to get to the point that we expect more from games here.
Meantime, Thomas Tuchel has been named as the new England manager. He replaces Gareth Southgate. Tuchel, who's German, led Chelsea to victory in the Champions League in 2021 and has also managed Paris Saint-Germain and Bayern Munich. And in some cricket to finish, the West Indies have defeated England by 6 wickets to progress to the semi-finals at the Women's T20 World Cup. The loss knocks England out of Group 2's top 2, with South Africa progressing to the semi-finals instead. And that's the 5AA Sport.
Thanks, Tom. Now checking 5AA traffic.
Lynn Andrews Real Estate, experts in commercial and residential property management. lynnandrews.com.au.
Yeah, good morning. Got roads closed in High Marsh Valley thanks to the serious crash. Victor Harbour Road between Crow's Nest Road and High Marsh Tiers Road. In Manopara, cars got into a tree, Curtis Road near Douglas Drive. And in Para Hills West, a crash, McIntyre Road near Bridge Road. And in Hilton, the road plates have come off South Road at Sir Donald Bradman Drive, affecting city bound. Truckloads of new stock have just arrived at the Harvey Norman clearance stores, Marion and Jepp's Cross. Run out furniture, bedding, outdoor and more, priced to clear. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
And now the 5AA forecast.
See any issue firsthand with AutoCam. Real-time video, direct to you from your Automasters technician.
A possible shower 30 today, tomorrow showers, possible storm 30, Friday showers 21, Saturday partly cloudy 21. Currently it's 21. More news as it happens on 5AA.
Right Price, Adelaide's best in heating and cooling, has risen to new heights. Literally, Right Price are now your roofing people too. Same exceptional service, value and quality. From total roof replacement, including tiled roof installation, to tile roof repairs, cleaning and painting. And for peace of mind, a rock solid quote. So the only surprise you'll get is how magnificent your roof and home looks. Do it right. Visit rightpriceroofing.com.au.
You can get your roof right at Right Price.
From the creators of the 2021 and 2022 Drive Car of the Year comes the next big thing. The all-electric 7-seat Kia EV9. The 2024 Drive and now World Car of the Year. Visit your nearest Kia showroom or find out more at kia.com.au.
Kia. Movement that inspires.
Now, home maintenance can be exhausting. You need to know a plumber, an electrician, a handyman and a renovator, or you could swap all those numbers for just one, the great people at Precise Plumbing and Electrical.
From plumbing and electrical work to pipe relining, bathroom renovations and handyman services, they're your one-stop solution with 25 years' worth of happy customers.
They'll service all areas of Adelaide and be there on time every time with an expert in your field of need, ready to do top-notch work. In fact, they're so confident in their expertise, their workmanship comes with a lifetime warranty.
With free quotes and upfront fixed pricing, Precise Plumbing and Electrical is a name you can trust and the only name you need to remember. Visit preciseservices.com.au.
5AA Breakfast is streaming live right now. To watch, simply head to 5AA on Facebook or YouTube. Head to your Hyundai dealer for run-out offers across MY24 range. Petrol and diesel vehicles. T's and C's apply.
David Penberthy and Will Goodings, 5AA Breakfast.
21 to 9, you can jump on the Foodland Supermarkets Facebook and YouTube live stream and watch the Police Commissioner join us in the 5AA Breakfast studio. Commissioner, good morning to you.
Morning, Will. Morning, Dave.
Being Commissioner must feel like playing whack-a-mole sometimes. This time 6 months ago we weren't talking about illegal tobacco and fire bombings.
No, we weren't, and we weren't talking about a lot of things. So, the landscape changes pretty quickly, and you've got to be ready to adapt and split your resources to deal with things that certainly weren't on the horizon. It's fair to say, though, with the issues we have with illicit tobacco, we've been watching this really closely, particularly in Victoria, because we know what's happening over there, and we always anticipated that this might head our way. So we're working really closely with the Victoria Police and sort of leveraging off the work they've been doing.
So is it clear to you then that the problems we're having now with potentially a 16th this morning, are they the same people from Victoria now running the same shtick here in South Australia, or is it a copycat?
No, we believe it's the infiltration of our local market by interstate organised crime groups, and we thought this was probably inevitable, but it was very difficult to get in front of. But now we have a dedicated task force that's headed up by Detective Chief Inspector Brett Featherby, who's probably one of our most credentialed gang investigators. So. We've got a lot of work happening in this space. We've got results, but it's not dampening the effort of organised crime at the moment. So we've had 5 arrests. We've seized over $500,000 in cash, 3 vehicles. We know who we're looking at from a local perspective. Well, we know which shops are most at risk. There's hundreds of these shops in South Australia, but we're targeting on those that we think are directly connected to these families, these organised crime networks. But there's a lot more work to be done, but we've got a ton of resources dedicated to this.
But are you guys at the sort of in the invidious position of being the tail end coming in when the bombs go off, the Molotov cocktails land? This is almost like classic supply-demand economics, because there's clearly a huge public appetite for these cheap cigarettes, which explains why all the stores have popped up. Is enough being done by consumer and business affairs to stop them? Because if these shops didn't exist and we're just being told, look, you're breaking the law, guys, you've got to stop selling these things.
Well, if these shops didn't exist, it would probably go to an online environment, and we'd see different types of offending by organised crime to extract their part of the pie. This is all about standover and extortion. They're threatening shop owners that if you don't pay money to the organised crime syndicate, the consequences are that you won't have a shop, and that's what we're seeing in South Australia. So it is a real challenge for us, but Consumer and Business Affairs have carriage of the regulation of the tobacco sales environment, but with over 200 shops selling illegal tobacco products, they have that's a fairly significant challenge to get in front of, and it's because of the whole supply and demand thing. Ordinary people are prepared to purchase illicit tobacco products, which provides a retail opportunity for people willing to import illegal tobacco products. And organised crime see this as a commodity they can exploit, and that's what they do.
Are the 5 arrests the people that are smashing windows and carrying jerry cans into these places, or are they the people sending the text saying...
Oh, no, the arrests we've had so far are for... there's a few arson arrests. We've got an arrest for money laundering, assaults, serious criminal trespass. So there's a range of different offences that are related to these particular events. And there's no secret that what happened overnight, we're treating that as the number 16. So 16 in a very short space of time, and over the last few days it's been 1 every day. So we've got resources out there now, but it's where do you put your resources to stop the next arson offence?
Yeah. They seem to be hiding in plain sight, though, these places. They've sort of taken the what a bit, aren't they?
The retail outlets?
Yeah.
Well, that's the challenge is I think the observation has been made that it's a gift store, or it's they're selling legitimate tobacco products, but the bulk of their trade comes from what's being stored out the back.
Yeah, totally.
The nudge, nudge, wink,
What's your message then to those businesses that are likely targets of this kind of tactic?
Well, it's very difficult to get a message across to the people who are choosing to sell illicit tobacco products, because it comes back to that risk versus reward principle again. Apart from the arson offences, the risks associated with being caught selling illicit tobacco products are far outweighed by the profit they're making, and that's why organised crime are leaning into this now, because it's a commodity they can definitely exploit.
Well, that statutory side of it, is that something, because I know you do play a valid role in discussing with the legislature, do we need to look at this? Is that something that's on the agenda, or do you think it should be?
There are already steps to increase penalties for the sale of illicit tobacco products, and there's a bill currently before Parliament that's looking at sort of creating stronger powers to shut down and regulate these stores, and we'll certainly be having our say about some of the opportunities that might be able to be put into legislation that give the inspectors in Consumer and Business Affairs and police more power to stop that retail outlet. The thing with the retail outlet too, and I think last night's example is a really good one, this actually puts people's lives at risk.
Yeah,
there are
totally.
residents living in and around those shops that are potentially at risk of losing their lives because of an arson offence that we're really obviously struggling to keep up with at the moment.
On another issue, in fact, a couple of issues, it feels like we're at the intersection of an old issue and a new one. We've spoken a lot about police resourcing and the police force being like pretty much every other industry post-COVID, struggling to find people and to fill quotas and so forth. That's butting up now against what appears to be, and maybe this is just appearances, a protest every second weekend requiring police. We covered the Extinction Rebellion one. We've had obviously a lot of Palestine-related issues recently. Has it been an unforeseen extra drain on your resources?
Look, we've always had to manage assemblies, protests, vigils in the CBD, and by and large, they're conducted in a way that doesn't disrupt our normal operational deployment. But it really has sort of escalated since October 7 last year, where we've had protests every single week. And this is an emotive issue. There are diverse views in the communities, and the potential for unrest and civil disobedience or violence is there. So we have to deploy resources in anticipation of things going pear-shaped. You plan for the worst and hope for the best. So we do deploy a lot of resources to these protests, and that is taking police officers away from the other types of duties they would ordinarily be undertaking. And if we're struggling with the number of calls for assistance we get, they're on the increase. The time we spend at a job now is increasing because jobs are more complex, which means the time we have to be proactive to actually, deploy police to where we think trouble may occur and to regulate road use and all that sort of stuff, that time is contracted because we're doing these other things.
Well, we had a bit of a laugh on air the other day when we spoke to one of our friends from Extinction Rebellion, where they said, I don't know if you heard it, but they said, there's quite an unnecessarily large police presence here. And we said, well, maybe that's because this time a year ago when you did it, you abseiled off a bridge and brought the city to a halt.
Yeah.
Which is now against the law. Under the major disruption.
There hasn't really been any change to the Public Assemblies Act. They increased the penalties, but the requirements of people protesting haven't really changed. So what that person did by hanging off the bridge, was not in accordance with the Public Assemblies Act then, and it's still not. So there hasn't been a lot of change.
So now it's just the fines bigger?
The fines are much more substantial.
Yeah, right,
so there hasn't been a lot of change. People are still required to notify me or the council in which the protest is being conducted of their intention to have a protest or a rally or a vigil, and we then work with those people to make sure it doesn't disrupt unduly.
Can I ask you a political question, Commissioner?
You can ask.
Some people in the Liberal Party have said to me, why didn't the Commissioner tell Vincent Tarzia in advance that David Spears was going to be charged? Is there a procedural or constitutional reason that it's only the government of the day that gets advance notification?
It's the government of the day.
Yeah.
So I fulfilled my obligations to notify the commissioner. The premier, and that was my obligation.
Yeah, just because I only asked because a few listeners picked up on it, and you know, politics being politics, everyone's cheering for their own side.
So you have an obligation, not discretion.
I have an obligation to inform the government of the day of issues that would have an impact on the government. So the premier is the head of the current government.
Yeah, fair enough. Good stuff. Grant Stevens, Police Commissioner, thanks for coming in.
Thanks, guys.
All right, let's check traffic. Thanks to Louver House, the leaders in transforming your outdoor space into a great entertainment area with an opening and closing roof.
Yeah, well, if you're heading to High Marsh Valley this morning, watch out for some roads closed thanks to a serious crash. Victor Harbour Road between Crow's Nest Road and High Marsh Tiers Road. Also this morning in Campbelltown, a multi-car crash, Lower North East Road near the hospital. In Munopara, a car's gone into a tree, Curtis Road near Douglas Avenue. And watch out for some road plates that have come off on South Road at Sir Donald Bradman Drive, affecting City Bound. If you love driving, Meals on Wheels could do with you. Become a volunteer today and help them keep the wheels turning. Visit mealsonwheelssa.org.au. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
Rowie and I are at a local restaurant who have invested in the magnificently sleek and reliable Vulcan doors. Rowie, could you step outside for a moment, please?
No, why is it always me outside?
Thank you. Vulcan doors offer automatic pedestrian doors as well as highly secure industrial roller doors and shutters.
Oi, Jimmy!
So keep out the heat as well as the pests that come with it.
Turbo, when are you going to let me back in?
Vulcan doors.
Jimmy!
Separate yourself from the rest, literally.
You can do just about anything online. Shop, meet new friends, watch reruns of your favourite TV shows or movies. But there's one thing you should never do online, and that's your will. From the simplest to the most complex wills and estate plans, Donlan Lawyers can answer your questions and help carry out your final wishes. For wills and estate planning, visit donlanlawyers.com. Hindmarsh Square, Adelaide, and Ocean Street, Victor Harbour.
The Steinborner Group has done it again. The Jack T9 Ute has landed at Jack Motors in Gawler. Enjoy a 5-star ANCAP safety rating, a 7-year warranty, 7-year roadside assist, and 7-year capped price servicing. The Jack T9 features a 2-litre 4-cylinder turbocharged diesel engine. This 4x4 dual-range Ute boasts an impressive 3-tonne towing capacity, a 1,045-kilogram payload, and a tray that fits a standard pallet. Starting from just $45,980 drive away, Jack Motors is well worth a trip. Visit GawlerJackMotors.com.au.
The business sector has had incredible advances in AI. One solution can show you how AI can streamline your business, introducing efficiencies you never thought possible. You'll save money and time, unlock new growth avenues, and you'll be keeping up with the rest of the business community. With AI and One Solution, you can innovate, optimize, and excel across every facet of your business. One Solution will show you how. onesolution.net.au, a Platinum Telstra partner.
Just call Ken Hall. We'll be there anytime at all. Just call Ken Hall. Just call Ken Hall. If there's a job to be done, Ken is the one. Just call Ken Hall. Plumbing, air, or electrical, is there anything you need? Ken's the one who can get things done, and it's always guaranteed. Just call Ken Hall.
Wishing your burger would go further? Meal deals not feeling like the real deal?
Oh, yeah, I see what you're doing.
Yeah?
Is your salad more like a sad lad?
Oh.
Damn. Cover for me, Andy.
Get a long lunch at Subway and fill your foot-long hunger. Click and collect on the Subway app.
Hang on, I'm back in.
Okay.
Could your lunch be Subway better?
Not bad.
What about this? Is your hunger bigger than a...
We're out of time. Sorry, ad's over.
Great, I didn't have one anyway.
Head to your Hyundai dealer for run-out offers across MY24 range. Petrol and diesel vehicles. T's and C's apply.
David Penberthy and Will Goodings, 5AA Breakfast.
7 to 9. Now, there's a little controversy earlier in the morning when David was operating under the assumption that What Cheese Am I had been secretly axed. That is not the case, and in fact, it's now time to play What Cheese Am I. If you'd like to get along to the excellent Cheese Fest on Saturday, call in now, 8223 0000, Australia's original and biggest cheese festival, October 19th and 20th in Rundle Mall. You can get tickets at cheesefest.com.au. I don't think anyone's got What Cheese Am I wrong yet, have they?
No. No.
which is a good sign.
So far, we've had Rockfort and Cheer.
That's right. 8223 Get calling now if you'd like to contest.
A clue in advance too, folks, as was the case yesterday. Today's cheese is not so much a specific type of cheese. Well, it is a specific type of cheese. But again, as was the case yesterday, we're after a brand name.
A brand name.
A brand name.
So your spirits should lift because the cheese lovers of Adelaide have gotten wind of What Cheese Am I? And they're calling in numbers. The first among them was Di from Lockleys. Morning to you, Di.
Morning, Will. How you going?
We're very well, Di.
How are you going there, Di? You good? You know your cheeses?
Yeah. Well, some, yes.
Okay. Well, this is. I hope you heard the clue because this is actually a brand of cheese. We're after the brand name here, so I'll give you all the clues and save your answer till the end. Okay, here we go. You will find me in children's lunchboxes. There are 3 clues as well. I am a small wheel of mild cheese covered in red wax. And the final clue, a whopping 1.5 million of me are made every day, and I start with the letter B.
No, it's not Bambino. No, it's not Bambino. I thought it was the cow cheese. Help me.
Sorry, Di.
Oh, I don't think...
No, sorry.
Sorry, Di.
Not Bambino, not the cow one. What's the cow one called? La Vache qui rit? The cow that laughs? Is that the one? This one starts with B. It's a little red wax wheel.
Jackie in Lockleys.
Sold in bags of 10.
I tell you what, the people in Lockleys like their cheese. Morning, Jackie.
Good morning. I've heard no clues. I've just jumped in the car, but I love cheese. I'm so scared.
Okay, Jackie, I'll do them all quickly again from the top. Okay. Now, I'm after a brand name, not a specific cheese. Clue 1, you will find me in kids' lunchboxes. Clue 2, I'm a small wheel of mild cheese covered in red wax. And the
Baby Bell.
Yes, Baby Bell. Stop the clock. Well done, Jackie. You're off to Cheese Fest, you and 3 friends, Jackie. Well done.
Fantastic. Thank you so much.
Well, you said you know your cheeses. And
That's to you, Jackie.
You were telling the truth.
And you know what? We're in a giving mood, so let's give Di some tickets as well.
Yay,
for general admission tickets to the Top Fuel Drag Racing at the Bend. Top Fuel Drag Racing returns to Dragway at the Bend, October 18 to 20, thebend.com.au.
You win cheese tickets.
Exactly
You win
right.
cheese tickets.
Yeah, exactly right.
That's what Oprah did, wasn't it? I know she did a car.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure she started with the Cheese Fest tickets. maybe she once she got after the car, she got to Cheese Fest tickets. 4 to 9, David. It's time to have a look at the fuel situation. With hundreds of ways to save every day, it's better to be a member with RAA Rewards. The X-Convenience Torrens Road, Croydon Park, $1.55.5. How about this one? The X-Convenience Brighton Road, North Brighton, $51.9. The Mobile Lower North East Road, Paradise is $1.55.5. And the cheapest diesel, the Liberty South Road, Clarence Gardens, at $1.67.5.
Have you seen that amazing footage overnight of Trump at that rally where he spent 40 minutes dancing?
Yeah, what was that? Was that serious? I've been trying to tease out whether that actually happened or whether that was...
like Bez from the Happy Mondays. He's just sort of...
Did that happen, or is that a real... I mean, this is what you have to ask every time you watch a video online these days. So he literally just danced for 40 minutes. Is that actually what happened?
Had the white man overbite going.
For 40 minutes? Yeah. I find that really hard to believe.
Yeah, he did. There's footage of it.
He is now the old candidate, isn't he?
Oh, no, I think he was doing it in a funny way.
Yeah, no, but he's having some moments.
Oh, well, in Arizona, we said, there's a lot of Assyrians here. I meant to say Arizonians. Assyrians.
Yeah.
He's been out and about a lot more than Kamala, though.
Oh, well, yeah, well, that...
What about her weird Howard Stern interview?
Howard Stern, there's been some suggestion she might do the Joe Rogan podcast, and she's appearing in an interview on Fox.
Rogan's a massive Republican, though.
Yeah, which tells me their internal polling suggests things aren't going as well as they thought for Kamala. Because she avoided...
Surely she'd only do Joe Rogan if Joe Rogan's going to endorse her.
No, he won't endorse her. No way, no. But he speaks to a huge audience. I think they've got to a point where the momentum is stalled, and it's apparent now that in the swing states, they haven't quite got enough. I think...
You know who... Someone texted me about this earlier. Michael Moore, the filmmaker, the guy who did Bowling for Columbine and Roger and Me, the great movie about Flint, Michigan, his hometown, where General Motors went under. He picked the last two results 100%. He said Trump's going to win against Clinton. Then he said Biden would beat Trump. He's tipping Harris. And he's someone who hangs out in diners, not with the big end of town. He's got a pretty good track record.
Well, do you know, to give you...
I reckon Trump's going to win.
Here's the reality as it stands right now. The latest polling, every single poll in a marginal, in a key battleground state, as they call it, is within the margin of error, the margin between the two candidates. So you could tip it any way you like at the moment, and, you know, it's hard to tell you you're wrong.
Watch this space, but we're going to be doing something on the day. Not quite sure what it is yet, but it will involve you, our listeners.
Exactly right. Stick around. Matt Pantelis is next. We'll catch you tomorrow from 6.
Coming up on 5AA Mornings.